Whew. Part 1 Hill Commentary Track with me, Alex DiBello. Finally made it. This is going to be me in my raw form, just talking about each parts. I'm going to be going over some hidden details, Easter eggs, some stuff maybe everyone didn't really pick up on. I'm also going to be talking about some scenes I edited and just basically just going to I'm going in depth on everything within this trilogy. And before I even start this movie, I think uh, for anyone who doesn't know about the whole hill and down the hill, that whole meme came to be. It started off with Anthony's mom. Yeah, um, I was in a call with Anthony, and his mom was with him downstairs, and his mom asked, "Hey, who are you talking to?" So Anthony's like, "Alex." No, there's two Alexes, right? There's me, and then there's the other one. So the mom says, "Oh, Alex from down the hill." And I hear that, so I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm a peasant." And then Anthony starts laughing. He's like, "Yeah, the one down the hill." And I'm just like, oh, "Man, like, okay, am I like some peasant that I live down the hill or something?" And then like, that's just how it started, up the hill, royalty, down the hill, peasant, stuff like that. So that's how it all spawned. And I don't know. I was like, like, and that meme grew so much. I was like, "Hey, you know what? I could probably make a movie out of this. I could probably make something fun for everyone to watch." And look what happened. Spawned one movie and then spawned two sequels. So yeah, I know. Like, I have to say before I even start any of this, I have you, like, everyone here to thank. Honestly, if it wasn't for you, this would not be it. Like, this would not exist. So, special thanks to everyone here, you know? So let's begin.
Fantastic, everyone made it. I call this meeting of the seven gods. Well, four now since the other three were executed.
Alright, the whole point for this scene is like prequel bait. So essentially, if I ever wanted to do a prequel, I have something to work off of.
I call this meeting because we have a common enemy that we haven't been dealing with for over 12 million years. And that, my friends, is the Up the Hill residents. For years, we've been drinking shit water. For years,
A lot of people seem to think that's like Sprite, Dr. Pepper, or some sort of soda. It's actually not. It's like water mixed with like soy sauce, or I think it was vinegar. Could like I mean it could be like anything. It was such a long time ago. I don't even remember what I put in there. But definitely not soda.
we've been using branches to smear our shit in for food.
All right, this was supposed to be what Andrew's eating right now. Andrew's eating like a tortilla with like a flatbread with Nutella inside of it. So I mean, it was supposed to look like branch with someone shit inside it, and he's eating it. And this was all before the roundabout thing, so you were probably wondering, oh, why is Andrew the one eating shit, right? But it's because the meme wasn't spawned yet. So yeah.
I say that's enough. So I call you all here, Damiano Fica, Artillery Master, Andrew DiCarlo, Special Ops, and Angelo Bergaman, our radio. What I have here,
All right. So the problem with this is, all right. So the way I did this whole scene is this is all in one take. So essentially, I recorded this four times. Like I recorded it four times, but it's just in one take. So essentially, I just leave the camera rolling. I do my part, and then once my part's done, I basically have to like get undressed and get into everyone else's costumes and sit in their chairs. Now the thing about that is like when let's just say I'm filming the Miano scene, I'm sitting there I'm like imagining myself looking at Alex for and I'm guessing how much time I have to sit there for. Like how much like was I up there as Alex? A minute. All right, I gotta sit here for a minute. And I actually lose track of time like when I sit there, and that's what happened with Angelo. I guess I was just sitting there. I thought I waited long enough, and I just stood up and left. And this was something I could have fixed in the editing, but like when I made the final product, I guess I didn't even take the time to watch it, so this mistake happened.
His plans to destroy the enemy.
Enemy. That's actually something Damiano used to call me out on a lot because I couldn't pronounce that word properly. So I could and like I remember this because like should I use a different word like villain or like like opposition? I was like no, you know what? Let me put enemy and see like if anyone's gonna pick up on that. Well, mainly Damiano, but I don't remember if he did. So yeah.
But I got an inside man. Whoa, wait a minute, dog. You're telling me you got yourself an inside man? How is that even possible? DeBello, I understand your frustration, but this just sounds impossible. There's 7 billion.
Okay, like that voice crack was on purpose because you know how Damiano's well I don't think he does it too often now, but like his voice used to crack a lot. So that was a reference to his like that was a little hidden detail of like his voice cracking a lot.
Of us, and there's a whole resonance of them. Alex, he's right. The math just doesn't add up. I need a plan in order to just break their lines.
I mean, everyone knows that one.
Guys, hold on.
Before I get into Angela's character, I remember Angela kept asking me like what's with the glasses? I don't even wear glasses. Now, this is not a foreshadow to him being Cyclops in the next film because at this point in time, um, the X-Men, the Russian X-Men thing wasn't a meme. So, and I try to give every character something unique so you could like tell them apart. But like mainly it's their shirts, right? They call the color of their shirts. But like I always try to give them an item too. So for Damiano, he had the hat. Andrew, he had the food. And Angela was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just put like glasses on his head. Because like I didn't have earbuds at the time. I kept losing them. I was gonna do that, but I didn't have any. So I just gave him glasses. And also product placement, craft, represent.
Who do you even have as an inside man that could give us even an edge at winning all this? You feel me, dog? You dig? Guys, settle down, settle down, settle down, please. I've been infiltrating this family for a few years now, and I've got their son right where I wanted him. Our inside man is Anthony Baldessari. What? What?
All right. So I mean, you all know this. The Damiano farts a lot, so I sort of added that in to his character.
How did you even manage that? You guys are looking at me as if you don't believe me. Baldessari, get in here. Hey, you guys. Hey, this is Rory. You guys are hanging out?
All right. So Anthony's character, probably the only well, he is the only person in this series that actually has his face in it. The idea behind Anthony's character was like tricky because Anthony was such a big character because of the role he plays and like of how his importance is to the meme and the whole plot. Like, um, like I also had to give Anthony something, right? Everyone had their own unique item ish. So for Anthony for his clothes, royalty, so I put like a vest and a tie. And I was like, I gotta do something else, man. I feel like Anthony, like, you know what? Let him be the only person that actually has his face on screen, and I'll just like put it on mine. I was like, dude, that's gonna be like so freaking funny. And the thing behind Anthony's voice was, and plus he's like the only character too I actually try to give a voice to because I honestly thought I had a good Anthony impression because I think it was one time at Andrews, uh, I did an Anthony impersonation, and Anthony wasn't. I don't think Anthony was there, but like Justin Lester overheard it, and he told me. He's like, "Oh man, is that Anthony?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Dude, that's like so him," and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, it is kind of. Like, I guess I'm pretty good at this." So like when I'm filming this movie, I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is gonna be good, right? Because I could do his impression, and boy, it just went downhill from there. Like I couldn't get it right. Like this took so much takes because I was trying to get that voice back. Because like usually I would say, "Bro, you don't even know," but like very deep. I don't know. I guess I lost it. I guess it was like that one time only thing. I was able to do it, and yeah, it just went downhill from here. Like it kept going higher and higher, and I was like, I was like, you know what? Let me leave it in the film. Like maybe it'll work. And soon enough, when it premiered for the first time, hell yeah, it worked. So I was pretty happy with that. And part two, part three, I just sort of rolled with it and sort of made it higher, you know?
Alright, let's get down to business. Hey man, I'm glad you can make it, you know? We've been planning this for a few months now, and we just need to.
Now, I don't know if anyone really noticed. Maybe Anthony's noticed, but he didn't really mention it. Is how big his head is, usually in these films. Now, the reason for that is um, because I need to put that face on myself, I need to track my head at like an editing like process. I need to like to keep moving Anthony's head to to stay on my head, and some that's like a nuisance. It's like honestly the longest thing to edit in these movies is Anthony's head because I literally got to drag. I always have to keep it on my head. So the way like I get lazy. Well, it's not lazy. It's just like working smarter or whatever. I basically just enlarge his head. So not only does it cover my head, or also covers like a lot of distance around my head. So if I would like sway side to side, at least it's like at least I don't have to keep moving his head back and forth, right? I could just enlarge his head so it covers, my swaying sometimes. But sometimes you'll even see that like I have to move his head back and forth. Part three, I did make his head a little smaller and tried to like be better with tracking. But I know in part one, part two, I just enlarged that fucker. And yeah, and sometimes you'll even see that he doesn't even have a neck.
Final touches, you know what I mean? By all means, after you, let's do this.
All right, so this is the infamous map scene no one likes, and the only reason why this is so long and so like detailed is because like at this time I was also doing respect threads. So respect threads is basically like if you like any amount of like information about a character is like good because it just makes your respect thread better. So I really wanted to make this map detailed. I wanted like a good explanation of how the hill works. So I literally just, and honestly, I made things as I went here. Like I kept drawing the map. I was like, what could I add? As I'm filming this, I'm like, okay, well, fuck it. There's a negative zero zone. What else? Security. Oh, let's put a tunnel in the middle. I just kept adding things to it, and I guess it just prolonged it for too long. And also, this is a fairy odd parents detail. The map, the rules. So, yeah.
Alright, so basically, this is us. And that's you. That's right. That's where I am. My house is.
Also, people really don't know who's talking in this. So the first person was me. Well, like it's Anthony now, and I'll just label the people that are gonna be talking in this scene.
Right over here. Alright. So
That's
we
me,
got 7 weeks of travels up the hill. Oh, DeBello, don't forget. When you
Andrew.
reach the halfway point, there's an atmosphere level where it switches. Wait, what do you mean by that? Yeah, he's right.
That's me.
We have our
That's
own
Anthony.
atmosphere. And between yours and ours, this is a negative zero zone. As in, you'll freeze to death if you'll try to get there. Alright, but how about we go from the other side?
That's me.
It's the same thing. So, how do we get through it?
Me.
Well, I'm going to give you a safe passage through the mountain, and which leads straight to our generator. What do you mean by that?
That's me.
We have generators running 24/7, and we have other generators powering up. So we have.
Yeah, this is like troll logic. Like you have a power bar and you just plug the power bar, like the cord, the cord of the power bar inside the power bar, so it's like infinite energy, or like you put a light bulb in front of a solar panel. That's basically what that was, the generator thing.
Infinite energy. That's amazing. So we can't even stall you guys out, camp the mountain so nothing comes to you. Exactly. In theory, we don't even need you guys. Right. The bellow. How do we break their lines? That's true. How do we break their lines? We have 7 billion people down here. Well, as some of you guys are going in the mountain, we'll have some of you guys go around it. But I thought you said the negative zero zone. That's okay. That'll just distract our security that we have on both ends. How do we get to the tunnels? I never knew there was a tunnel. We always have a safe passage to escape, but we can also use it to enter. So you're saying,
That's me.
if we go through with this, we'll take over the whole hill? That's right. Then this is the done deal. We'll start tomorrow. Oh, yeah. You guys honestly think I'll help you destroy my home? Wait, what? What do you mean? What I mean, you just led me to the resistance, the one we've been fighting for millions of years. And you think I'd help you? You just helped me. No.
You know what's funny about like Damiano being quicker than the bullets and like Angelo having those glasses? It's like they're not even foreshadowing their powers they're gonna get in part two. Because like when I made part one, I didn't even know I was gonna make a part two. Like, sure, I knew part two was gonna come at the end of part one, but I'll explain later. But like, I just find it funny how like their powers are like relatable in this one. I don't know.
He's going for the map. You can't let him take it. All of our plans are on there. Not if I get there first. I got the map, DeBello. I got the fucking map. I knew I should have never trusted a Baldessari. God damn you. Bro, you don't even know. You're all dead. Andrew, you're wounded. He's gonna take you as prisoner, and you have too much information. I can't let that happen. I'm sorry. I got it.
Alright, so the whole thing about killing someone because they have too much intel, that was another meme with Damiano when we were talking about eating intel. If you're gonna get captured or like, you don't have any other choice to like get rid of like information. So like, I remember I said something where, okay, let's just say someone has a lot of information and you know they're gonna squeal if they get taken prisoner. Do you shoot them as they're getting taken away? I forgot what Damiano said. I'm pretty sure he said no, but like I think we all jokingly said yes. So I added that in there because Andrew has a lot of information. So I was like, I gotta take you out, my dude.
He used his only bullet.
Now, I purposely said there was only one bullet in that gun, just to avoid any like plot holes, because like people could easily say, oh well, he had a gun, he didn't even try to use it on Anthony, right? So and then but then like you could also say, oh, why didn't he use that only bullet on Anthony?
No, what do you think you're doing? I'm sorry. No. Fuck. Oh, you guys are fucking dying on me. I can't let him get it. I can't. Give me the map. Get your ass out of the table and give me that map. Fuck you. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Alright, that wasn't actually like a sound effect error, or like I forgot to put like the bullet sound. I just really liked my sound, so I just kept that in there.
Get on with it, you traitor. No, I'm not doing it.
Alright, so Anthony putting his hand on his chest. I don't know if anyone really notices this, but he does this a lot. Probably not recently. I haven't noticed it recently, but like at the time, he used to do this a lot. Either when he laugh or like talk, he would always put his hand over his chest. And like I don't know, I just tried to like replicate that. And also during during Damiano's song, when he kept cutting back to him on the piano and Anthony sitting next to him, Anthony does this a lot, you know, like if he's laughing a lot, like he'll like tap on something, either like if you're near him or like arms are on the table, he'll tap like your hand that like you found it really funny, or he'll just do it in the air. And so I tried to like like in that music video, I tried to replicate that, but here, I noticed he does this a lot, so that's why I did it.
It brought me to the resistance.
Alright, so here in the back, I don't know if you guys heard the door like close or whatever, but that's my mom coming in from like doing groceries and stuff. So like you would have seen her in the shot had I not turned to like the left here, well to his left. So like I completely block out my mom like last second.
And I destroyed it.
Right now, my
This is
mom
my
just passed.
face. Then let today be known that I declare war on you. So be it.
Alright, so that was supposed to end. Part one was supposed to be like finished after that. But in my head, I'm like, you know what? This is going really well. I could probably add more to this. I could probably make a sequel out of this because, like, ideas kept coming to me. I was like, man, I built up, like this, 7 billion army, the down the hill versus up the hill thing. I could probably make like a little war movie for the second one, and I've always wanted to do something like that. So I was like, all right, I gotta add something else. So I was like, all right, let's say Anthony goes downstairs and like talks to his security members, letting them know that like a war is about to begin. So I'm like, yeah, I could do that. All right. So this was like at night. Like this was like me like just spontaneously thinking of the idea. I was like, okay, I gotta film this now and add it in.
Fellas, how are you? Oh my god, Mr. Baldessari. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wait 1 second, Jim. There's a problem here. Oh God, sir, I forgot about the red carpet. Jimbo, there's no second chances here. You never forget the red carpet. Oh, sorry, sir, please. Tim? Yes, sir. I made a little mess.
Yeah. Like the only reason why I'm pausing here is because like a lot of people say Jimbo. I made a little mess, even though he's talking to Tim. I don't know. I just find it funny. It's like that Mandela butterfly effect thing or whatever, where like there's like another parallel universe where like I do say Jimbo. I made a little mess, but yeah, I don't know. In this one, I say Tim, but everyone keeps saying Jimbo. I mean Jimbo. I mean, not to say the Jimbo one's not funny. Like I find it funnier than this one, but I just find it funny everyone sort of switched it up.
Down the hill, and that sort of started a war between us. Be on security for a little while. You'll have like 7 billion people try to take us over. Okay? And next time, if I address you and I don't see a red carpet, you have the same fate as Jim. Yes, sir. I'll make sure.
Yeah, this is just another editing error, basically. Like even for like part, even for like part, like for part one, two, and three, I don't watch my final product. I don't know why. Like when I'm editing, I'll like rewatch the shit out of everything before like I'll render it. But like I don't know, it's just like when I'm just finally done everything, I just won't watch it. I don't I don't know why. And like every part has a mistake like this. For part one, it's Angela getting up way early. There's this, um, and yeah, I don't know. And there's not really an Easter egg here, but like I don't know if you noticed that like this guy's holding like a bell router. I don't know. I had to give him something to do. I couldn't let him have just sit there and do nothing. So I just like you're supposed to interpret that as like a up the hill gadget, wherever whatever you want it to be. It's that.
Sure, never to make the same mistake Jim did, and the others as well did. Uh, I'll be on duty day and night.
So that's the end of part one commentary track, and I'll be right back for part two. And we're back with the Hill Part 2 commentary track. Now, this one is easily my favorite out of the whole trilogy because I had the most fun filming it. There was a lot of memes to work with. So much happened between Part 1 and Part 2, and I was just able to put so much in here, and I think it really worked well. So, I'm quite proud of this one. So, let's just get right into it.
My right hand men are all dead. He betrayed us. We'll get him back. We'll get them all back. Yeah, it's me. We're going to war.
The war started off on the wrong foot as I sent 3 billion people up north. Yeah, so I don't know if you heard that my little pause in that voice. I was about to say 3 million, but then like I remembered it's billion. So, yeah. Thinking that the negative zero zone was a ruse, a trick that Anthony told us just so we didn't try it. Well, we tried it and we failed. This scene was so hard to do. Well, it wasn't hard to do. It was just so like tough, like on the body, cause like it was so cold outside. Like I had to run. Like okay, so basically where I am, I'm basically in my bathroom upstairs. I had to open the window and like mount the camera looking down in the backyard. So, um, and then I had to run all the way downstairs out the back, and I had to like place myself. I literally had to guess where I had to like lie down so it wouldn't overlap everyone. But it was easy because it was snow, so I was just able to look at you know, my prints and stuff like that. So I was able to get a lot of good cuts here because of the snow. If it was summertime, I would have had to like worked with like tape or something. But yeah, so I start over here, and I start over here and here and here and here. Now you'll notice that like some of them don't like some of these guys don't have shoes. I think one, two, I think only three don't have shoes, and that's because when I did these ones here, I went back and I went upstairs and I looked in the camera. Before I stopped recording, because this is all in one take, I was like, I could put, someone here, I could put someone here, and I could put someone here. So I guess I was just lazy. I just wanted to get this done with. I was super cold. I was like, fuck it, I'm going barefoot. And that's exactly what I did. I went barefoot. And, uh, and it just worked out. I think this is a great shot of, rebels dying, and, I'm very proud of this scene. They all froze to death. But as the night fell, we didn't have... This, I have to say, is probably one of like my most favorite like illusions per se in like my filming history. So essentially, right, I'm saying here, well, I'm gonna be saying that like we didn't have to bury these guys because the snow would at night. So I was like, okay, let me put like shoes upside down in the snow so it gives the illusion that like they're under it, right? And I put the helmet over here, which like you're supposed to think that like the whole body's under there and just the helmet's sticking out. The sandals is just throw-ins just to be funny, and I even tried to like place the boots where like it would make sense for like a dead body or something. So like I put like this one forward, one a little bit back, but like I don't know.
Have to bury them. The snow did. I guess we'll just have to go through the tunnels like he originally said.
And with the gloves too, it's as if like someone was alive and trying to dig out of the snow, but they couldn't.
And try our luck there, as that's our only hope left. We're just reaching.
When I say that reaching, and like I sort of center this hand because that hand is reaching. It's supposed to be like a little,
For help.
I don't know.
Alright, men. We may not have the supplies, but this is all we got. This is our last stand. It's time to enter the devil's mouth. On me.
Now their shirts are white because they're very plain, which is like like pawns. They're very like common and plain and stuff like that. So that's why like their shirts are white. So like they're clones per se. So that's why. The whole hanger bag idea was just like on the spot. I was like, all right, what gun are these guys gonna use? I mean, down the hill. Oh, fuck it, we'll use hangers. And like for helmets, I'll just put a plastic bag over my head.
Fantastic, we're all here. That Baldessari kid was telling the truth. There actually is a tunnel that goes through here. A lot of our men died. Trust us. Half our army's
Red
gone, but it
carpet.
doesn't have to end like that. This could be our final. This could be the way.
I'm in
And I intend to
position,
lead you all
Tim.
to victory.
On my
Everyone.
mark, we'll mow these
Follow
guys
me.
down.
And let's proceed.
Mark.
No, Johnny!
This is too easy.
Goddamn fucking ambush! Take cover, everybody!
Alright, just for context of like me falling constantly down these stairs, there's actually like a cushion that you can't see at the bottom here. So like I knew I could just like throw myself down and I wouldn't get hurt that much. And yeah.
Keep your head down!
Two for one.
Set up the LMG! Ah! Ah! Yeah! Hey. Ah! That's right, just hold it down! Ah!
Got him.
Explosive fire! Aw, damn! God damn it! Weapon jam, technician, check it for me. Get to it, soldier. We got sniper to take care of.
I don't know if anyone really realized, but I'm using shoes as binoculars over here. And you could also see the cushion that I fall on here.
Chamber, checking the barrel.
Now the whole thing about that meal, like checking the barrels, because Damiano and I went to like get our gun licenses, so we had to take like classes and stuff. So our teacher or our instructor, I should say, told us that like some like we basically had to go through a procedure of how to check if like a gun doesn't have any rounds inside of it. So like basically the last step would be to check the barrel to see if like there's like either a round or something stuck inside the barrel. And I remember when he first said that, Damian and I looked at each other like, what? All right, we're not doing that. And I even remember when we were like testing these guns, And like the man was going through all the procedures, and then like the last thing he had to do was check the barrel. So he had like a pistol. He's like, I gotta check the barrel. I don't know. It's just like stupid shit. So like I had to like include that in there. I was like, oh, that's gonna be good if I just like include something like that. Like the man was probably the only one who's gonna get it, but like I'm sure if we explain the joke, everyone's gonna laugh about it. That's not actually broken. I just unscrewed it. Like
Fuck. I wanna go home. I wanna go home. I wanna go home.
there's actually ketchup in here. I don't know if anyone really realized that, but like I put like ketchup, so like I was like holding it, so like when I get shot, like it shows that like oh wow, like oh blood came out, but like it wasn't there before. It's because I was covering it. Anyways, that was like a little thing. I don't know.
Now we're gonna get through this.
Where is it? Where is it? Oh no!
I need a sign. I need someone to tell me what to do.
Sarge,
Hang in there, son.
isn't it obvious?
I have a hard time watching this too.
He's not targeting you.
What are you talking about?
Look at all us dying and you're not even hit. Take a hint. Look.
That may just work. Anthony! You coward!
He finally found out.
Is this what you want?
Yeah, I don't think I set up that whole cape thing where like this would be like a very powerful scene where I take it off. So like it just turned into like just like I don't know like I didn't really make that cape iconic enough for that to be like such an important thing, but I still had fun filming it.
Come face me yourself!
What the hell is this? Fuck. Thank God I brought water.
Again, that's not Coke or some soda. Like I don't even remember what I put in there. I'm gonna say soy sauce, so that's like water and soy sauce.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Brought to you by Tim Hortons.
All right.
So, you made it. Come join me. Enjoying your last supper?
You know, I was gonna say that to you. But I don't even think you know what a meal is.
Just stop. It's over. Everything is over. We've won.
I saved you for last, so I could show you my ultimate weapon. A weapon I could have just easily used on all your troops. But I just wanted to show you that this was never a war. I will destroy you all. It was nice knowing you, Alex. Tim, activate the God Blast.
Me.
What?
Me was like usually a oh yeah, that's from the Family Feud thing with like Steve Harvey. Um, it's like name something you want to watch your wife do, and the guy's like, me. Yeah, that's basically where that's from. That actually hurt. I missed. Like it's funny because like the flame that stayed on didn't even hurt me. It's the one I took out that like burnt me. And like damn, that actually hurt. And it's still like I'm still burnt today. Like I still have that feeling on my like on my finger.
Impossible!
And I honestly didn't want to do that again. I actually liked me like that. I was like, ah! And like I knew my face was gonna be covered, so I was like, oh, you know, let me just roll with it because I think that could be really funny if I just leave that in there.
How? I fooled you. You thought you killed me, but it was a hologram. I was planning all along. And I brought friends. Most importantly, family.
Behold, dog enthusiast Michaela DiGiorno, coming at you, DDR Master Sam. Watch out! Hopefully you're not on this one's tracks,
Choo-choo.
Steven.
And there you have it. 4 forces from beyond the roundabout. Time to sacrifice them.
This is world building right here, by the way. Just to let you know. This was when the roundabout meme came in. So I was like, oh, okay, now I gotta like include that inside part 2. I gotta make that a thing. I gotta make Andrew's death not real. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, he's from the roundabout. I guess it would make sense that he would send a hologram to that meeting. Um, so I was like, okay, well, let me include the roundabout. Let me include, you know, more characters. So like, obviously, I would include Sam, Steven, and well, at the time, Michaela, right? So, you know, for the girls, I gave them scarves. That was their unique item. For Steven, it's that stone cold face. I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't have a trainer with me. I would have. I sort of said choo choo. You're the only guy who had a line there. You know, they're all smiling and stuff. You had a line. You said choo choo. Okay, so and essentially. Like these are supposed to be just cameos, like you know. Well, obviously they are cameos because like you know, like Andrew snaps them, and this is before Avengers Infinity War, so you know they stole from me, for the record.
And bring back 2 of my own that have died at your hands. Now, rise up again, Damiano, Artillery Master, and Angelo Bergman. The
Yeah, I had hiccups that day, and I just left that in. I thought that was pretty well, and like, I just like acted through it. I was like, you know what, people are gonna find that funny, so I kept that in there.
radio. Take my newfound gifts and let's take over this hill.
Such a good sound effect. Paper in the mouth because he was eating the map when he got shot. There's not really a clear reason why they're in the basement here. Like ideally, right, they should be where they died last, but you know, maybe something happened between part 1 part 2. Maybe, you know, Alex the character moved their body somewhere else. So yeah, that's why they're in this setting.
How is this possible?
Well, actually, I didn't have anything to say there.
Oh, it burns. Oh, God, that doesn't help. My eyes. My eyes are burning. My eyes are burning. I feel.
The reason why Damiano's like a speedster, like the reason why I gave him speedster is because of the bullet timing he did in the part 1. So like I said, right, part 1 wasn't foreshadowing anything. I basically used part 1. Like I basically gave him speed because of part 1. It wasn't because like I was gonna give him speed later on in the series. I gave him speed in part 1 just because I thought it would be funny. But part 2, I was like, you know what, I could actually use that now. And you know, I could have shielded or I could have done something scummy and said, yeah, it was foreshadowing, but nah, it wasn't. So honestly, editing Damiano was like really fun because like editing like quick movements and stuff like that was like very fun to do. And like I also had to do my own voices, like well my own sound effects for that. I mean, I could have found some online, but like I had fun, you know, doing that. I had fun doing that. I don't know. So yeah.
Faster.
Oh, and that fade in, fade out. yeah, I don't know. It's just like a good way of like, like a speedster coming and then stopping. It's just like they usually fade inside the shot, so that's why. Like, so that's how I did it with that. And man, like at the time, I was like so like, oh, this is so good. Like, this is like a next milestone in my editing. Like, really, like honestly, like the hill, like improved my editing like tenfold. Even though I still make my mistakes, but like I don't know. I learn a lot. I actually go on YouTube. I'm like, hey, how would you do this in so because I use Sony Vegas. Like, how would you do this in Sony Vegas? And like, I would just learn. And I think like editing, like doing these special effects or editing or all these like tricks add a lot to the film because like I feel like without it, it's just bland. Like if I really just like put raw footage was just like splitting the clips so like everything looks good but like no like special effects and stuff like that, I feel like it would look like really 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 bad. So you know I'm quite happy with how the editing turned out for this film.
Whoa. Shit, Angelo. Angelo, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? Hey man, we gotta go though. We gotta go save the Bella. We don't even.
This was a little tricky for me. I was like, how am I supposed to get, because like since Damiano's fast and you got to get there in 7 weeks, like up the hill in 7 weeks, and Damiano can make that time like pretty quickly. I was like, how am I supposed to get Angelo there? I'm like, okay, uh, he's sort of dealing with his eyes, so like I gotta use Damiano to pick him up. And I was like, well, how am I gonna do that? That's pretty difficult. And then I remembered one of my reenactments where I was doing Civil War, the reenactment. I was like, hold on, I could just like cut him out and then like use motion tracking to like lift up that image, and all I have to do as Damiano is pretend I'm picking something up, and in the editing room I'm just gonna put Angelo under my arm and then run.
Even know where he is. Let's go. Come on, I'll pick you up.
Yeah, you could see my hands at the bottom push the door really fast. It's just supposed to show that like I'm going really 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 fast and like you can't see anything. You just see like the path. Now in part two, I learned something that you could freeze a video frame where they just stay still. That's something I didn't know in part one. I mean, maybe I did know in part one, but I just never needed it. I'm not too sure when I learned that, but like I could have fixed Angelo's scene in part one with this technique had I known that he was gonna get up. So that's essentially what I use in this scene. I poorly timed because like this was like difficult, the scene here, um because like I'm in the middle and I got Angelo and Damiano on my left and right. But what made this scene difficult is I'm talking and I'm also asking Damiano to do something. So I have to time myself. I have to like so here this is all in one take by the way. So like as me, I have to react. So I'm reacting like, "Oh, Damiano," and then I say something and I'm like, "Hey, do you mind go doing this?" And I have to wait for his response before I could address Angelo or back to Anthony. So I have to address Damiano and say, hey, this and that, and then Damiano goes. But this is also hard because on Damiano's side, I spawn. I have to wait. I have to like be perfect with like the timing here because when I jump in, I have to start thinking in my head, okay, when does Alex ask this question? So when I respond, it fits well. But like my sense of timing wasn't that great, so I had to freeze him. I had to freeze Damiano and then unfreeze him when I asked the question. So it makes sense. So this is pretty obvious that like even for Angelo, I had to do it for both of these guys because like my timing was so off. So yeah,
Whoa, you guys are actually glad to be back. All right, now it's time to make him go.
froze,
I got a job
froze.
for you. If you can find their weapon systems, you can turn their artillery against them. You got it.
I loved this idea. This literally just came like just in my head. I'm like, okay, how's that? How's Damiano? Like, how am I supposed to show Damiano finding Anthony's house? I'm like, oh my god, yo, get a map, literally go and paint and just record myself like drawing a fucking line through all these streets. And I was like, damn, this is such a good idea because like, sometimes like in movies or shows, like they'll show like an overhead of like the speedster going, or even in comics, like they would show like an overhead of like a city or something, and the speedster would go through all these like the alleyways or like streets and stuff like that. So it's like I could do it in this movie too, but like I could make it look like like Damiano, like, going through every street in Fontainebleau and trying to find Anthony's house. And then, when he gets close, I could just go in street view and, like, use this.
I found it. I found the house.
What? I'm here. Damn it. Security system locked. It's gonna take me a while before I get the artillery systems online. I'm gonna have to hack inside.
Alright, so command prompt, right? I'm using command prompt to hack inside the security systems. This is actually a meme. Like, I think only Anthony gets this because, well, I mean, I'm sure we've explained this meme to other people, but like the people who were like in the moment when I explained this, it basically relates back to Kayla, like the vacation girl, because she would tell me she knew how to hack, right? And I was like, okay, well, how do you hack? Like, and like this is like I'm quoting like perfectly. She would say, "I know how to hack." I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, so how do you hack? Like, how does one hack? She's like, oh, I can't say it. So like, just as a joke, I say, oh, what? So what? You use command prompt? And she's like, yep, I use command prompt. Like very seriously. Like it didn't sound like she was joking. I'm like, okay. And then I go tell Anthony, and Anthony had a good laugh. So, and then maybe we shared it with other people. I'm not too sure, but like, and then like, I think Anthony also like, it was either me or Anthony who like referenced this meme a few times, but like, I put it in the movie. I thought it was funny enough to put it in the movie. Yeah. All right, so like, I'm sure everyone knows how this is done, with the background. I basically just go and paint. I make a black version of security systems locked, and then I just make another one where it says online and it's green. So yeah, it's pretty simple.
I'm in. I'm ready. Are you alright? No, I'm not.
This was hard to do because I had like tracking Anthony's head on mine is like fucking peanuts to what this is. Like I had to like, okay, there's four images here. There's the ball and then the line. So I had to keep the line on the ball, and I had to keep all four on Angelo's eye. So like I had like so much motion tracking going on there, and then very tedious. And like when I was acting as Angelo, I knew this when I was acting as Angelo. I was like, this is gonna be really hard. I had to really keep my head steady because if I start moving around, it's just a lot of work for no reason. So like I had to keep my head steady like this, and then like when my head goes down, I really have to like one full motion. So like when I edit this, I can make like big leaps in my tracking where like I can predict where my head's gonna be. I'll put the track there, and then like it'll be like a smooth transition for when it goes horizontal.
Enough of this. Dinner is over. Killing all of you guys again would just be deja vu for me. Any last words?
Actually, I do have something to say. You're over. Now, Damiano. No. Angelo, this is it. Aim it towards them.
I don't think anyone really noticed this, but like Angelo's lasers like stay on Anthony's nipples. So yeah.
My legacy! This cannot be!
В сериале X-Men.
No more. No more. Just a snooze.
I'm actually holding the wrong side where I got shot. I mean, I'm holding here where it was really like I shot myself like here. That was a little mistake.
Finally, it's over. Andrew, are you here? Hey, yeah, I'm right here. I was holding off the door from the guards. I noticed you did it. We're finally at.
Now the reason why I made Andrew a bad guy here is because like I needed part 3. I knew part 3 was gonna come. I knew like I was having so much fun filming this. I was like, all right, part 3 is gonna be good too. So like I have to like do something where like I basically had to make something for part 3. So I was like, I had to have a new villain because Anthony's dead, right? So I was like, you know what? I can make Andrew the villain because of like the whole roundabout. I could like include that. I could like dive into that, you know. Part 2 was the hill. Well, I mean, part 1 was down the hill. Part 2 was up the hill, and then part 3 was part 3 was going to be at the roundabout. So, I was like, oh, I can make Andrew the villain. I could, like it would be, and it wouldn't make that like it wouldn't be like that crazy. Well, I mean, like it wouldn't make like people wouldn't say it wouldn't make sense for Andrew to do this because he is from from the roundabout, and since Anthony was like sort of corrupted by the hill and like wanted power and shit like that, well, why not Andrew, right? He's from the roundabout and he has an opportunity to take over the hill. So I was like, yeah, Andrew would be a pretty good villain. Why not? And like I could work a lot, like it's something I could work with a lot. So I was like, okay, let me make Andrew a traitor, kill me, and then that sets up for like part 3 where people know that like there is going to be a part 3 and like have an idea who the villain's going to be.
I can't believe I got betrayed again by my own man. Then again, it's a 50-50. Either they betrayed me or they don't.
The whole 50-50 meme, like come on. Perfect.
Loyalty was hard to come by. But I guess my journey ends here. At least I won the battle, but I lost the throne.
Sorry, but I'm the rightful ruler of this hill. Now the roundabout can move freely and take over this world. It's mine. It's all mine, and there's nothing that could stop me now. I claim this throne.
Little mid-credit scene, basically showing that like, yeah, I'm dead, but like this was just to show that like, a new character was coming in. No one really knew who it was. Um, I knew like when I filmed this, I knew that was Adamo because I was like, oh, who else don't we have in this film, right? That's like sort of like around us. So I was like, you know what, let me include Adamo inside. So that's what I did. Included Adamo. So yeah, that is part 2, and I'll be right back for part 3. Welcome back to the Hill commentary track. Now we're on part 3. As you can tell, I changed up a little bit. The turtleneck was giving me some irritation around the neck, and I wanted to be as comfortable as I could because this is going to be a long one. It's longer than the other 2. So before I even start any of this, I have to talk about the production of this movie. Part 3 was very something. It was the only film I actually had a deadline for. Part 1 and Part 2, I sort of went at my own pace because I didn't have a deadline. I did it whenever I wanted to, and I didn't really have a deadline to meet. It was like whenever it was done, it was done. But Um, 99% of this film was filmed a month before Andrew's Secret Santa get together, and the idea really just like hit me. I was like, whoa, it's like how cool would it be for everyone to get part three at the event? I was like, that would be, a cool Christmas gift to everybody, and I think that would be a funny way to end the new year. So I was like, I gotta get this done. I gotta get part three done for everybody. I have to do this for everybody, because I was sort of getting lazy with this. 99% of this film was shot 1 month before, and that 1%, which I will point out in the movie, was shot right after the premiere of part two because I was so excited. I was like, okay, I gotta start filming part three. So I only filmed one thing, and then I think like work got in the way, and then like sort of went downhill from there in terms of like motivation. So I put this movie on hold for too long, and I just needed something just to like spark that motivation up. And honestly, the 29th, man, that gave me that motivation to finish this thing. And honestly, I didn't even know this was going to be 36 minutes long. When I started piecing everything together, I was like, yo, this is going to be a clusterfuck. And like I had very low expectations. I was like, damn, this is going to be so bad at the premiere. I feel like people are really going to hate this. They're not going to find this funny. They're probably going to think it's rushed. But boy, everyone proved me wrong. Everyone. When we were watching it, I was so happy. I was sort of frowning. I was like, damn, like I feel bad. People are not going to like it. But damn, everyone just proved me wrong that night. And like I was so happy. I was so happy to see everyone enjoying themselves watching this film, and it made me happy. Because originally, what I really wanted to do was put the film on a CD and make like a whole DVD box art and stuff like that, make a whole DVD menu when you put it in. But like the reason why like that didn't come to be is because my computer doesn't have a DVD disc thing, so I couldn't do that at home. And also, like I literally finished the movie the night before the event. Like I rendered this shit at midnight. Like that's how like close I was to like not even being done, but I managed to complete it in the time frame. So, without further ado, let's watch The Hill Part 3.
What? Oh my god. Wait, am I dead? I feel alive. What the hell is going on? Where the hell am I? Ah, you finally awoken. It's time for you to get to work. We have a lot of work to do now. I don't understand. Who the hell are you? What did you do to me? What I did to you was save your life. As for who I am, well, it's kind of hard with the mask.
This is on purpose here. When I like this whole because I think this is like the only face reveal in like the whole trilogy. So like when I take the mask off and it's sort of like a quiet thing, because like usually movies when like someone reveals themselves or like takes off their mask or whatever, it's like this big like oh my god, it was him this whole time, or like oh my god, it's him, you know? But like for this movie, it's like oh my god, all right, I still don't know who it is until someone says their name, because it's all the same face. And the thing with like Adamo's character is like he was supposed to be a time traveling person from the get-go. Like in part two, when I filmed the mid-credit scene of him picking me up, like I already had the idea of him being in an alternate universe to that was like sort of overlooking the battle and like planning a counterattack. So like I already had that in thought. And when I did the Miano's music video, I wanted to like put a teaser in it. Cause like when I did the Miano's music video, um, like the motivation from that was just because how funny that was, and I was like, I think no one would like see this coming. I don't think anyone would see this music video coming. I was like, you know what? I could also throw in like a little uh the Hill Part 3 teaser in there because I think the Hill Part 3 was like becoming a meme because like, Andrew, Sam, Anthony, yeah, I think those three would usually like, oh, even Damiano sometimes. They would like, say, oh, DeBella, where's part three? Where's part three? So I think that started becoming a meme. It didn't really become a meme. Like from my interpretation, it sounded like, you guys were teasing me about part three. So I was like, you know what? In the music video, I'm just gonna throw in a little teaser, and it was really easy to make. It's essentially just Adamo walking down, taking off his helmet, and looking at the camera. But like, it doesn't give you anything, right? Because it's me playing it. So yeah. And honestly, like the whole like air ventilation thing, it wasn't like it was because like I got the idea from the Predator, from the first Predator movie when like he unplugs himself and he removes his mask. I guess it sort of resembles that. That's just like what I was going for there.
But I'm your only hope to winning back the hill and destroying Andrew.
Adamo? What? How?
Come. I have lots to explain, and we have a lot of work to get to. Don't worry, we're safe here. We're in a
This scene was a reshoot, and it was a reshoot for two reasons. I literally reshot this on the 28th, so like the day before the premiere. And the reason why I reshot this is because Adamo rambles on for like fucking ever. I was like going so in depth on his job and what he was doing and stuff like that. Like it was such a long scene for no reason. So I had to cut that down. I was like, no, I gotta reshoot this. All he has to say is, I worked up the hill. I got these materials. There we go. And also, I didn't notice, but like my underwear was sticking out. Like my orange underwear was like sticking out too much, and it looked kind of trashy. So I was like, yeah, let me just reshoot this whole scene and just make it better.
parallel universe between time and space. So, like another dimension. Essentially,
And the thing about these interactions, I find I got a little better with these interactions because like like I said in part one, I had to stand still and like time in my head when Adamo's done talking so I could make a response and then wait again for him to stop talking for me to talk. Now, for this film, as I'm acting, I'm also staying still. There's some like I always make sure that there's like a few frames where I'm standing still. So when I'm editing, I have the ability to freeze that frame. And essentially, freezing frame is essentially like me just standing still, right? You see it in part two. So like freezing a frame where I'm not moving looks immensely better than freezing a frame where I am moving. It just looks smoother, and sometimes you can't even tell that I am frozen. And I'll even point out when I am frozen, and then you'll see how well it transitions into the frozen and being unfrozen.
yeah, I call it the negative zone, but it's essentially another dimension. How is this even possible? Well, we've been working on the clock and gathering resources
Like I'm gonna freeze real soon, and then I'll unfreeze. Like you could, like if you really pay attention, you could see me freeze.
for the past.
I'm frozen right there. Right now I'm frozen, and it's not even for that long because I did the timing so well, but I still needed to stop to give a Adamo more time to talk.
2 to 3 years. We were
But now I'm back.
workers up the hill, so we were able to get some really high-end materials to do this. You keep saying we. Who's we? Ah, yes. Well, my accomplice and I. He's right now in the bathroom making a deposit. He should be out soon.
Before I get to a Massimo and this whole thing, I want to say like part three. I knew part three was gonna be big. I was like, oof, who's coming to this event? I gotta include everybody that's gonna be here. Now, of course, Massimo's not there, but I really wanted part three to include as much people as I can because I knew it was gonna be the last one. I knew I had to make this an ending for the hill. Like this was gonna wrap up basically everything. So I wanted to include, Massimo, Steve, some of Anthony's friends. Well, I only added one. Um, and And yeah, like I just want to include like as much memes and as much people as I possibly can to make this movie the best that it could be. And I think I did pretty well, honestly. Just judging off the reactions, I think people were pleasantly pleased with this film. Honestly, this was last second. I knew Massimo was gonna be in my film, but I didn't even think about doing his like gargling sounds he does whenever he finishes DJing that we sometimes hear on Discord. So like that was like last second. I was like, oh, hold on, I'm gonna be in the bathroom. I'm gonna do like that spitting thing. I was like, oh, that's gonna be good. And he says bitch a lot. That's why you hear him say bitch a few times.
Yo, what's up, man?
Now he has Rosemary's on. Now the only reason, like, I think only Angelo and maybe a handful of people will get this. He's wearing Rosemary because I remember Angelo showed us like a you know at like RHS where like they have like the years on the wall and there's like pictures and shit. I remember Angelo showed us a picture of his brother in high school and he had a Rosemary on, and I remember Angelo pointing that out. So that, so like so so I'm wearing two, right? It just adds to his character.
Hey, I thought you were gonna get my brother, bitch. Wait, oh my god, it's Massimo. Oh my god. Yep, that's actually him. We modified his turntables so we could travel through time and space. Basically lets us teleport anywhere in and out of this dimension. But he's the only one that can handle it, and he knows how to work it. Ain't that the truth? You tell me where you want to go, and I'll place you there, and I'll send you to that location. But it can only be in Anthony's house, because that's how far our signal goes. It's not that strong, so we can only send you in and out of that house. That's right.
Also, the whole thing with like the Deadpool pajamas, how like everybody now is wearing that, it's just like I guess you could say I got lazy and like all I have to do is really just change the shirt and you basically know who it is. Because like I don't know, like changing the pants too just felt like unnecessarily long. So I guess you could say yeah, I did get lazy and just made everybody the same fucking pants.
Signal's pretty weak. We can only go inside the house. So that's where he comes in.
Anthony was going to come back, but like every time we like I would talk about the part 3 with people. This was before like I had the motivation to make it. This was like after part 2 and people were like we're talking about, "Oh, what's part 3 going to be?" I had no intention of bringing Anthony back. I was like, I'm going to leave Anthony dead. But like as I'm imagining this, I think like during the Manos music video, I was like, I got to bring Anthony back because I think he like and like he's just it's like he's a funny character. There's a lot of memes to work with him, and like just the voice too is funny. And I think I could easily make a reason why he's back and like how he comes back and what happens to his character. So yeah, he was gonna come back. I try to keep that a secret because I know like Andrew would sometimes come to me and say, "Oh my God, what's the part 3 gonna contain?" I'm like, I don't know. Why don't you guess? And then like I would never say, "Oh, Anthony's gonna be back," because I felt like that was a big spoiler because he dies in the second one. So yeah, and plus I don't include any scene where Adamo picks up Anthony. That was supposed to be like a behind the scenes thing. I didn't have no intention of filming Adamo pick up Anthony. That was supposed to be like the big reveal. It was like, oh my God, Anthony.
He knows where it is. No, don't do that. I don't do what I think you're gonna do. Don't revive him. No, he betrayed us. We were fighting against him. He wanted to kill us. You can't do that. All that can't be done for nothing. You can't just revive him like that. You need to calm down.
That's an Iron Man reference from Age of Ultron when he's fighting the Hulk. I don't know. It just came to my head as I was filming it.
He's corrupted by the hill. He's not within reach. He's space-time away from it.
I did say I did get better, but like there's still fuck ups, right? So.
When we revive him, he won't be evil. He'll be on our side. You have to trust me on this. I saved you. Let me save him. Yeah, well, I guess you do have a point there. Man, just tell me why we need him. Look, I know what he did. What he did was awful and evil. But he's the only one who's been to the roundabout and back. He knows where it's located. We need that information from him. So I need you to trust me to revive him. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's pretty sound logic. Alright. But what are we gonna do with that information? We're gonna nuke the whole roundabout and take the hill for ourselves. I'm liking the sound of that. Alright, Massimo, when I put this on his head, you bring him back. Yeah, I got him.
I'm back. And it feels good. Thank you for bringing me back.
Can't believe you're actually back. So are you or are you still the same old
It is me. I
traitor?
am more enlightened than I was before.
Well, that's good to hear. Because we're gonna need you to tell us how to get to the roundabout. Because we're gonna nuke it to hell. So what we're gonna need from you is yet again to draw a map.
Yeah. So the thing about the map, right? This was a joke for like essentially part one, right? Where the map was so fucking long. And honestly, I was expecting some reactions of like people saying, "Oh no, not another map scene," but I didn't get that. But yeah, like I was supposed to like that was supposed to be a setup to make you think that it's gonna be another map scene, but and then I purposely make it so freaking quick.
Yes, I can. Okay, so here's the hill where I live. And the roundabout is 1 year drive length. And you'll make it to the roundabout. And once you enter the roundabout, you go to this house. That's it.
Are you kidding me with this? 1 year.
Yeah, I think Damiano pointed this out that it's not even the same map. The reason for this is because um, like when I first filmed myself drawing that map, like I somehow lost the video, and I only noticed it when it was too late. So I was like, I gotta roll with it. I gotta roll with this this inconsistency, and yeah, I don't know.
To get to the roundabout. That's how long it's gonna take us to get there? Yeah, here's the thing. You're gonna be going, not us. Wait, what? Why just me? Well, for the sole reason Anthony can't go because the hill's gonna corrupt him, and well, I'm the one teleporting everybody around, so yeah, that only leaves you. But don't worry, man. We're gonna give you keys to a car, and it should go relatively quickly. It's an up the hill car, so it should be quick. The year should take around a year. And we'll also be giving you a signal device. Now, you have to activate the signal device when you're at the roundabout, which allows us to boost the signal, and we'll be able to teleport straight to the roundabout. Alright, I dig it. Let's do it. What are we waiting for? Now, here's the thing. Before we start any of this, we need to get Angelo and Damiano back here safely. Because if Andrew gets a hold of them, he'll strip their powers away and kill them in the process, so he can bring back his people, and then we're in really big trouble because that's a lot of forces we'll have to deal with such low numbers that we have. So we're surveilling the house 24/7.
And the whole reason for this is like I needed to include Damiano and Angelo. Like I needed to bring them back because like they were pretty in a tricky situation. They were in the house with Andrew. I was like, Angelo is knocked out on the floor last time we see him, and Damiano was on the computers. But I need to bring them back to like this central hub where everyone's planning their attack. So like and like just the way I set up everything for just the way I set up part 2, I was able to take a lot from part 2 where it would make sense in part 3. I was like, "Oh, I could say that, Andrew's going to take, their powers, which is also going to kill them in the process, so he could bring back the people he sacrificed." So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty easy. I could No, like that could be an easy plot point, and I could work a lot with that. Like I could put a lot of like as I do these scenes, I could add a lot inside and like do some fun stuff with like with it.
And we're trying to find a prime opportunity to grab both of them. Andrew needs to be unalerted and unaware of our presence because if he stops us, this whole operation's done. Yes!
This is directly after part 2 premiere. I was so excited. I was like, oh, let me let me film part 3, and this is the only scene that
He's dead!
where I have a block.
Yes! We won! Yeah. Hey, I can actually check the security systems footage here. Let's see what they're up to now. Notice he did it. We're finally at... Oh, what? That traitor, he's gonna pay for this. Fire mission battery grid.
Alright, so this whole rant of fire mission, whatever, Damiano actually like wrote this down in a Facebook message once upon a time. So I had to go and dig that up. But I sort of modified it. I included Danger Close in it because Damiano was gonna be in the blast zone, so I guess it would make sense for him to say Danger Close. So yeah, like it's essentially word for word. I just add in Danger Close.
520-740 alt 90. 1 times Anthony's fucking house.
And of course, because I think originally he put a school, or I think he put like my address or something, or I think he put someone's address, and I essentially just changed that to Anthony's house.
Radius 200, danger close. Delay 7 rounds, fire for effect. Ready on my mark.
Yeah, that was reversed. The paper's going up. I essentially just dropped papers and then I just reversed the video so it looks like it went up. And just for fun, I added in like a flash scene. Like this was supposed to show how intense Damiano is right now, like how fucking angry he is at Andrew's betrayal. That like he's going super fucking fast. Andrew's gonna pay for his betrayal against Alex, the Hill, and the Cause. And I'm the only one who could do it. Alright, this was hard to film. Like I honestly thought I had this pretty down to the point. And by the way, this is still the 1% of what I filmed right after part 2 premiere. So I thought cuz ideally what I wanted to do was I wanted to run into his hand where it would look good like in the post production where like it looked like like he caught me. But, you know, uh like Damiano like I stopped way earlier and his arm wasn't that far out. Well, my arm wasn't that far out and it just didn't work, so I was like, how am I going to fix this? Because like I was like I don't really want to reshoot it. So like I was like, you know what? Let me just make Andrew like telekinetically grab me, and then he'll drag Damiano to his hand. So like I guess I didn't want to reshoot it, so I just basically like went further with the editing.
What? You think because you're fast,
Classic.
you can't see before my eyes? Hey, I got something here. It seems Damiano is fighting Andrew. This could be our prime opportunity.
Yeah, that's like a random ass contraption. I want it to be like a little like telescope, but it's like just what I had around me. I was like, okay, let me just put this. Let me just fucking put a coil through it, and it's something Massimo's gonna look through.
You need to grab him, but you're gonna need to de-launch the Ishination launch he launched. Alright, let's do this. You guys are about to see some cool shit. Alright. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go. Alright. I gave you these powers. I could strip them away. Like your life. Mark. Alright, the artillery strike is called off. Send me back. Fuck!
First take, by the way. I was like, ooh. And like as I was coming up and the shield was staying on my head, I was like, oh, that's awesome.
I've been fooled. He's gone.
Alright, that scene cuts really quickly when I say he's gone. Because I quickly turn around and say, and like I look where Angelo is and I say, oh my god, Angelo's gone too. But like, when I was thinking of that, I was like, I feel like that's too quick. I feel like I could work I could add a lot of more scenes if I separate everyone's rescue. If I separate their rescue. So I was like, okay, first Damiano's gonna get rescued. It's just so it didn't feel like very rushed. So I was like, okay, first Damiano's gonna get rescued. So let me cut Andrew saying let me cut Andrew saying that Angela's gone too. Because I could work something there. I could add something between that. So Damiano gets rescued.
Don't worry, don't worry. You're okay, you're okay.
Adamo?
Yep, that's me. Nice to see you again, soldier. Whoa, Anthony and DeBello. Yeah, it's a long story. Basically, over here we could bring them back to life, and we're sort of in motion of destroying the roundabout. So, we needed you because we need all the help we could get to destroy Andrew and the roundabout. Well, I'm glad I'm here to help. Do you have any food around here, man? I'm starving. Yeah, there's some food over there if you want to.
Also, another reason, it's also like easier filming wise if I separate the rescues. Because like let's just say Adamo rescues both of them, I would have to like really go far back and like show um, Damiano and Angelo together and like you know like because like I wanted to separate both rescues and another reason why I wanted to is because like I wanted a scene of them inside the negative zone doing something. So like Damiano gets rescued, he gets filled in and then he says, hey, I'm hungry, like do you have any food around here? And then he says, yeah, go, and then it will be that scene of him trying to find food. And then when Angela comes, he'll have he'll have his own scene inside the negative zone and like his own screen time of like, oh, like do you have a bathroom here, and it's a shower, right?
Grab some grub, man. Help yourself.
What I wanted to do for this scene, but like I didn't really know how to execute it well. I mean, and just like the timing I had, like if I had more time with this film, it would have been like the level of the film would have been like like much better. Cause like I didn't want to do the map thing again, but I was like, damn, like cause like I really wanted to do the salmon thing, cause like we went to a restaurant once with Damiano, and he ordered salmon, and in the picture, I mean, it looked like a proper size for like a serving, like a proper serving size. But when he got it, it looked like it was like really fucking small, and then we were all laughing about it. So I wanted to like bring that back, but like I was like, I gotta get salmon, and but like it's just like the time wasn't there. I don't know. It just didn't come to me. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do the map thing again. Fuck it.
Mmm. Intelligence. Oh, you are still here. Looks like you got left behind. Well, Angelo, I'm gonna be taking my powers back. It may kill you in the process, but I need to bring back the people I sacrificed to help them attain the roundabout and the hill. You see what I'm saying? Alright now. Actually, I'm gonna cut you a deal. I'm gonna go have supper, change a bit, and then.
Now, when I say change a bit, that's essentially changing my shirt. Cause that shirt, honestly, I don't know if it's been like in the wash too many times or like I just got fatter. That shirt's like so fucking tight on me. It's like so uncomfortable. So like I like changed that shirt. I was like, I gotta get out of this shirt. I'm not filming this with like this shirt on. It's so annoying. So like I try to say, and like and like it even happens in the film again where I'm like, oh, I'm changing, but like I'll get to that when we get there. But like, yeah, that shirt was just so uncomfortable. That's why you see me change.
Now consider your powers. Consider it your last meal, but I'm gonna eat it.
I killed myself.
What are you seeing? A way to get Angelo back, of course. It seems like Andrew's about to go eat. If we're ready here, we could probably intercept him there and then get Angelo and bring him back here. Let's try that. All right, I'll be on standby.
Motherfucker, crawl.
This scene was like shot like halfway through the month. You know, Anthony, you know, was really you know, showing off this meme of like the wall and that song. I don't even know what it's called. So I was like, you know what, let me just add in this here and let me just throw a meme in here. And I remember Angelo one day was talking about hot dog water and how fucking disgusting that is. So I was like, you know what, let me pour myself water, but like there's gonna be hot dogs inside of it. And basically this whole scene is just a setup for the touch of my spaghetti scene.
Boom, these motherfuckers crawl. One.
And as you can see in my shirt, I tried to go for a more, and like I was like, you know what, let me keep it blue, but like, and it's just gonna be more comfortable. So I was like, you know, let me pick my SpongeBob shirt.
These motherfuckers. Whoa, 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 whoa. Darling, these motherfuckers crawl.
We got the hot dogs.
Wow. Finally, some
Supreme
good
Leader, do you
old-
need any maintenance around the house?
You're gonna fix my fucking roof?
At once, sir.
All right, the whole point of this is to set up the scene where I throw him out the window because I needed something to break the window. So I was like, ah, fuck, I gotta go back and like include some guy that's gonna be in that room and why he's gonna be in that room. So I was like, you know what, it's gonna be some guy trying to fix the roof, and then I'm gonna use him to throw him out the window. So I gotta include him somewhere. And like I just wanted to include him, and I also wanted to include the "You're gonna fix my fucking roof," right? From the Arthur dub there. Angela likes that a lot, so that's why I added that in there. And yeah.
Oh, forgot salt.
Originally, I was supposed to pick up the pasta with my hands, and then like I was supposed to come back into the alternate reality, and then like you know Massimo would be like, "Why the fuck do you have it in your hands? Why didn't you just take the bowl? Like why didn't you just take the bowl?" And I would just look at him, and like with the pasta in my hands, but like it just didn't work. So like I just left. So I just changed that to like picking up the bowl.
Now that's the one. Somebody touch my spaghetti.
That took me like 10 takes to do. Like, man, that was long.
Somebody's in this house, and I'm gonna find them, and I'm gonna kill them.
For the record, this shirt is also uncomfortable, and you'll see me change and mention it after the car scene.
Yeah, man. What's up, bitch? Saved your life, by the way. Angelo, keep your eyes closed. We're on a budget here.
I had to do this scene 3 times because like I actually forgot about Angelo's condition of his eyes closing, so like his eyes were open, and I was like, damn it, and I was like, how am I? And then like, so then and then like the second time around, Adamo didn't even mention it, and I was like, damn it, I was like, I gotta do it a third time, and like what I mean by like this took 3 times, don't think of like, oh he just messed up that one person. I mess up everybody. I gotta redo everything because it's one scene. Like it's literally one recording, and if I fuck up, I gotta redo everything. So like I had to do Massimo's thing 3 times, and then I had to do Adamo and Angelo's scene 3 times. So yeah,
Pick up those goggles on the table so you can see.
those goggles are from last year's or year. I don't know which year it was, but like basically the first time we did Secret Santa, I think like these were Adamo. Like Adamo got these goggles, and then he passed them over to me, and I knew instantly. I was like, I'm using these for the hill. Like these are gonna be in the movie regardless. And originally, these were supposed to be on Adamo's head when he takes off his helmet. Like he was supposed to have those goggles on, but I was like, no, 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 no. These are gonna be for Angelo because of his condition. These are supposed to be like his Cyclops visors, but it's gonna be goggles. It's just so he could walk around and see. It's just like this is just so his eyes aren't closed for the whole thing. He's not boring. At least he could see, walk around, and do stuff like that. That's why I added that in.
Hey man, make yourself at home.
And then I say, um, oh, close your eyes, keep them closed, put this on because we're on a budget here. It's supposed to be a joke that like I essentially just don't want to put the effects of him accidentally opening his eyes and then closing. I didn't want to go through all of that. And it's also a joke because like when I used to watch Game of Thrones, um, there was one scene where like Daenerys has like these dragons in like baskets, but like she was going to show them to like someone, but then like she doesn't show them. And this was like very early on in the show where like I guess the budget wasn't high enough, so like showing these CGI dragons costed a lot. So like when she opened the basket and then closed it to not show everyone the dragon, I was like, oh. And then I remember telling Angela this. I'm like, yeah, I guess they're on a budget, so that's what I was aiming for in that scene. Like it was a little bit of both. It was a little bit of like I just don't want to edit accidentally, his eyes shooting out and then closing, and it was a Game of Thrones joke between Angela and I.
This is like a new dimension for us, man. Don't worry about Anthony and Alex when you see them. They're cool now, and we revived them. So we're sort of in the process of destroying the roundabout, man. So make yourself at home. Yeah, yeah. I gotta go to the bathroom. Do you guys have a shower here? Yeah, man. The shower's just in there. Thanks. You see?
Yeah, I completely fucked up at that. Like I could have made that better, and I only noticed this at the premiere. It's essentially because I filmed Adamo's part before I filmed Angela's part. So Adamo's part has the door open, and then Angela's part had it closed. But in this shot, Adamo's scene overpowers Angelo's, so that's why it's open. And during the premiere, I don't think anyone heard this, but because they were laughing because of the whole shower meme. But you actually hear Angelo like moaning in the background.
Anything? Okay. Nah, I see Andrew about to intercept the rebels. Where's Alex? Yeah, they're playing Smash in the other room. You want me to go get them? Yeah, man, because you guys are going to drop in. You'll be distracted with that, and we could get this playing on the road.
Alright, this is by far the worst scene ever. I think this is the worst part of the whole movie because of how fucking bad it is. Like, honestly, this whole Smash scene was supposed to set up a Daisy joke. Now, essentially, the Daisy joke was supposed to be I pick Krom, and then Anthony says, "Oh, I'm surprised you don't play Daisy." And then I would say, "Oh, she's too crazy for me. That's why I don't play her." And then he would say, "Oh, fair enough." But I sort of left that part out because like I was like, you know what, let me not fucking add that shit in and always be reminded of this person. Like I just want to forget her like 100%. So that's why um like and so like that's why that's not in there. Um and also this whole scene is supposed to show us bonding. It was supposed to be like a bonding moment where it's supposed to increase the impact of like another scene further in the film where like like he goes and like makes a stand and says I'm gonna go sacrifice myself and then I start crying. you know like this was supposed to like set up that moment. It's like, oh, like we sort of saw them bonding earlier in the film, so that's why he's emotional now. Because if I didn't have this scene, I guess it would be pretty weird why I'm emotional. He betrayed us and like started killing all of us. So like I wanted to add a scene where like we bonded and like it's like, yo man, what's up? Like I'm glad you're back. So that's why this scene was in there. I wanted to do another scene, and which I think would have been way better. and it was me and him sitting down, just chilling, talking, and then I would say, "Hey man, you remember this?" And I would have like a phone, and then I would show it to him, and it would essentially be Damiano's music video, and then it would be the full version. We would watch all that, and then Anthony would be like, "Yeah man, I remember this. Those were like good times." And then I was like, "Yeah man, those were good times." And then like it was just supposed to show like a lot of emotion between us and everybody. And I regret to this day I should have like this is why this is the worst scene ever, because like it could have been better, it could have been more impactful and more funny too. So yeah.
Hey man, I know it's been a while since we played, but let's just play for real and see how that goes, alright?
Sure thing. I'll treat it.
And I forget to put Anthony's face. And like sometimes like I get lucky, like when I forget to put his face I get lucky because most of the time I'm stone cold, like I'm literally no emotion when I act as Anthony because I know my face is gonna be covered. So I would usually be like this, oh okay, I'll be like that. So like as little movement on my head as possible so I don't have to move that thing around. I could just stick it there and I know it's not gonna move. So like in these scenes, this one and the one at the end, I get lucky because I guess I look good while doing it. So like it didn't look too out of place. But then again, it's something for you guys to laugh at. And so this wasn't intentional at all. Like if I knew, I would have put his face. But in the end, you guys still laugh. So I'm just happy that my mistake was someone's enjoyment.
As a tournament.
And then this is a meme, him saying, "I'll treat it as a tournament," and then he goes to pick fucking random like he always does at a tournament, and it pisses me off, and I even show that here. Like, I'm like, God damn it, dude. And then obviously this is the me like just fucking rambling on my controller. A lot of the compilations of like melee shit, I'll be like, you know what, Anthony? And like I'll go fucking crazy and just die instantly. But like here would be the reverse, or like I'm better than Anthony by doing this stuff, and I'm just spamming shit. This was all one take. I was like, damn, I actually got that. That's pretty sweet. But it's not a spike. It didn't look as good as I thought it would.
Yeah. You're pretty good at this game.
Thanks. You know, it's good to have you back, man. It's good to
It's
have you
good
back.
to be back too.
Hey, fellas, sorry to crash the party so late, but develop.
That's supposed to be a joke about Adamo being late to being late to the Secret Santa. Because he says, "Sorry to crash the party so late." It doesn't make sense in this scene, but like if you really think about it, it's like it's essentially referring to him being going to be late because as we were planning, the Secret Santa, Adamo said he can only be there at midnight or like 3 o'clock in the morning, so he was going to be late essentially. So I just included this in the film, like, hey fellas, I'm gonna be sorry for crashing the party so late. You know?
It's time for us to go. Let's get this show on the road. Hey, man, we can always play some more later. Let's go. Duty calls.
Pour down the hill.
God damn, it's a fucking ambush!
Get some, sucker.
Stop!
God damn it, I'm not gonna make it.
Honestly, I just really wanted to do a scene like that. I could have taken this out and it wouldn't changed anything. I just really, really, really loved the editing here.
Damn it, Angela's gone too.
My dog.
What the hell's going on here? What? Miss me? Impossible! How? You're supposed to be dead. Go, I got this. It's over. We're gonna shut you down. Operation Shutdown, eh?
Now, the reason why I say Operation Shutdown or stuff like that, it's because like, um, when I make when I drive off, like when my character jumps out the window and drives off, Andrew like shouldn't really have an idea where I'm going. So like I was like, oh wait, how is he supposed to know I'm going to the roundabout? It takes 1 year to go there. How the fuck is he supposed to know? So I'm like, all right, so let me say, we're gonna shut you down, and that was supposed to trigger something in Andrew's head, like, oh, Operation Shutdown, eh? And then like later on, he thinks back, like Operation Shutdown, oh shit, he's gonna blow up the roundabout. Like it was just like a really really weak way for him to know where I'm going.
I'm about to shut you down. Damn it. Ha. No, you don't. Thanks. What? Who is that guy? Damn it. Everybody get in their positions. Be ready, he's coming. Not again. Not so fast.
My dad had knee replacement surgery, so he had that, and so I took full advantage, turned that into a minigun.
Whoa! Damn it. Solid diamond. Excuse me, who are you? We're in process of fixing this roof. What are you doing? Oh no, ah!
Now, this scene was actually hard to do, like, editing wise, because I had to grab, because, like, okay, now I could have been really lazy with this scene and just had, had myself, like, have the roof guy go straight across the screen where, like, the image would have been over the border here. Like, I could have been really lazy and left it like that, but I didn't. I really wanted to show that he went out that fucking window. So what I did essentially is like I took this like the video and I added two more of these videos on top of each other, and I just cropped this border and this border, and I made those as priority videos. So anything, any video, any image, it's gonna be under this. So when I throw the roof guy's body, right, it's under these borders. So it's gonna look like he's actually getting thrown outside. And then, like, if you listen carefully to like the sound effect of like him getting thrown out, you'll hear like him falling or hitting something.
You ain't gonna see this coming. Don't worry, I got him pinned. I'm gonna have to jump. I ain't so tough now. Shit. Come on.
Alright, so this scene, I actually throw my phone out the fucking window here. I had my phone, and like this is partially reason why like my phone cover is like this, or like it's like this like bad. It's because like I had it tethered around like thread and stuff like that, tapes and shit like that, just so I don't lose it. And essentially basically what I was doing is I held my phone like this. I had it tied up, and I was holding the ball of cord in my hand. So I would run like this, and then like I would shoot my phone out the window, and then hold the cord. And I was supposed to, like in my head, I thought it was going to um, record all the way of it going down like that on like just close to the car or something. But like as soon as I threw it, like it kept flipping. It kept like the shot wasn't good. So like after like 5 or 6 throws, I just like went and like while I was editing, I was like, I gotta find a frame where it shows the car, so I could at least use that as the last shot. So like in like post production, it looks like I actually jumped out the window. So yeah. So essentially, I'm just like right here, I'm just running with my phone like this, and then throwing it out the window, and then just pulling it back up with the cord. And then I added the sound effect of me jumping, and then like I quickly cut to the sunroof of the car, and essentially what I just do is I jump. Like so basically I'm like when the video starts, I'm essentially let's just say this is the sunroof, and I'm like this, right? I know it's recording, so I'm like okay, I gotta I gotta make it look like I'm falling down. So essentially I just jump a little bit, and like I jump, I do a full jump, I go like and like that. But in the editing room, I start the video when I'm at my highest point, so I'm like here. So when I start the video, it looks like I just fell. It looks like I actually fell from and like with the previous scene, it looks like I actually jumped through the window and I fell through the car roof. So it's supposed to give that illusion that I did the full action. And if you see, that's the keychain of Sam's. That's on my car, and then you can see the other one on Andrew's car.
Alright, I'm in the car. I'm on my way to the roundabout. Oh, shit, man. This thing got...
Yeah, this whole car scene, I was like, this has to be in this movie. Part 3 has to have a car scene, a car chase scene or stuff like that. I always wanted to do something like that, and I think it worked out perfectly. I had so much fun. Even though it was like freaking cold, like I had my coat here. That's because like I had to set up like the camera outside and everything, and like just to make sure everything was in place and for me to ready to film. So I had my coat on the side. If I get really too cold, I just put it on, warm up a little bit, then like go back in acting. So like I don't know, this car scene was like super fun. I knew this had to be in the film. I didn't even know how I was gonna film it. This is all spontaneous. I was like, okay, camera rolling, let's go. Okay, this is me filming. All right, time to do the next scene, and it's just like kept coming to my head as I was filming it.
Power. I'm gonna be there in no time.
He got away. Where's he headed to? He's headed for the roundabout. Wait. Shut me down? Headed for the roundabout? Oh my god. He's going to blow up the city.
That's from Spider-Man 2, where Doc Ock was like talking to Peter Parker, and then like he was talking to his wife. He's like, oh, Peter here thinks I'm gonna blow up the city. It's a pretty well-known meme, but yeah, I don't think anyone got that, but that was just like for me to put in.
I can't let him do that. I have no choice. Damn it. Spajouter, man. Angelo Damiano.
Spajouter, man, that's something Andrew says a lot, so I give it to his character.
My only chances of bringing the other two back, and now they're gone, and I can't get my strength and power back.
And like this scene, I was gonna do originally because like I always had the idea of I always had the idea of like Andrew bringing back Sam and Steven, but like it wasn't gonna be from Angelo and Damiano because like Angelo and Damiano were gonna have their own stories. Like it wasn't gonna be the end of of Angelo and Damiano if I didn't want them to die like that, like Andrew taking their souls and stuff like that. I didn't want them to die like that. I wanted to get more screen time out of them. So so I essentially created a scene, which is this right here, of Andrew clapping to getting rid of to basically like wiping out the whole population. And then like that also gives me more room to include more characters and like memes basically. So I was like, okay, let me do like a clap scene and then a bunch of people die. Oh, I could do so much with this. I could add so much people, and then like by the end of the clip, they'll just disappear. So I'm like, okay, this is how I'm gonna introduce Steve, and this is how like fuck it, I'll add Alex too. And I really wanted to put a third one, but nothing really came to mind. I didn't really know who to include. I didn't really know who to include, so I was like, you know what? I'll leave it with these two, and that's what I did.
I'm forced to do the unspeakable. I'm forced to extract everyone's soul on this planet. It's a route I didn't want to take, but I have to do what I have to do. Sorry, but I claim every unpurified soul on this planet.
Now, I say unpurified soul, like this is on purpose. I specifically say that word because if you notice, Steve doesn't vanish, which you may be like, well, why didn't he vanish? It's because I say unpurified soul. Now he drinks pure, right? So his soul is purified. So that means, so that's essentially why he doesn't get, um, that's why he doesn't vanish, is because he drinks pure. There's a lot going on in this scene. This scene was very fun. I did it one take, and I just liked it a lot. Mimi and Alex too was like pretty good. So I have the clock. I changed it to 5 a.m. because of the whole Angelo and him argument that lasted until 5 a.m. The Popeye cigarettes is because he smokes, so that's why I added that in there. And I think I got his laugh pretty well. He has like and I'm pretty sure we commented on his laugh before. It's like, it's like something like that, and like I felt like I really recreated it pretty well.
Buddy, do you know how retarded it is for interns to get paid for doing labor?
Yeah, so the whole intern thing, that was like callback to like another argument we had where like I guess like we didn't see eye to eye on like interns getting paid. And then the Steve scene. I'm like, I gotta make a scene of Steve at like his. It has to end where like it's not chanceux for him. I was like, okay, he's gonna be in like a meeting room with like a company exec, and he's trying to sell his product for them to put it in their store. And the reason why he vanishes, he drank it, but as you can tell, he spit it out. That means his soul is not purified.
Ah, Steve, c'est la fucking merde.
And like for this whole scene to be in French, that was on purpose. I was like, you know what, this scene's also gonna be in French, and I think like my French like would be funny to some people. So I'm like, well, let me put it in French, and like I'm gonna purposely like throw in some English words because I think it was Andrew who was talking about like people who like speak English, speak French, but like also throw in some English words. I think it was Andrew or Angelo that said stuff like that. So I made sure to like throw in some English words here and there. And then like when he's talking shit about like Pure and stuff like that, like as Steve, like as I'm acting with Steve, I'm like trying to like smile through it, like it's like, damn, this guy's really talking shit about me, but I gotta keep a smile, like.
Pas investir dans ça. Eh ben non, check ça, check. C'est bon pour la santé, check ça.
By the way, that's a real reaction, man. I don't like Pure at all. I hate the taste.
Tu veux voir? Steve, oui. Je veux voir ton market share. Ton market share est fucking salé, man. Je peux pas prendre ça. T'as zéro dans sales. T'as zéro. S'il te plaît.
The whole salad thing, I think that goes back to, Chateaugon Sal. So, yeah.
J'ai vraiment besoin de ça. Si je come home avec pas un contrat, ma femme va prendre les enfants et ditcher moi.
Yeah, because I remember a few times Angela used to say that, or like we would make jokes of like how bad his business is going, so like his wife would take his kids and like ditch him.
S'il vous plaît, j'ai besoin de ça. Ok. Je vais donner toi une chance. Signer sur cette ligne, c'est un contrat pour 1 an. Ok? Oh, merci beaucoup. Non. T'as fucking poisonné? Non. Ah oui, mais le contrat est ici.
Yeah, that's just to be funny. Like, I was like, you know what? Let me just make the contract fucking disappear too, so he doesn't get anything.
Moi, je suis pas chanceuse. I feel good again.
It's essentially the same thing. Like I shoot myself. Like I didn't throw my camera out this time because I didn't want the same shot for like two different people. So what I wanted was let me just like go like this and like just extend myself out the window as far as I can, and I'll just cut it to my furthest extent, or like where like the movement really goes quick, and then I'll just like cut it, and then the next thing will be me falling down. And essentially what I'm just doing here, I'm just jumping above the camera and I'm just landing. So I just start the video when I'm landing, so it looks like I jumped down. And if you look closely, this is the second keychain that Sam made when Ante and I went to that marketplace to visit the DeCarlos.
Wait a second.
And this was spontaneously, like this was like this scene right here, like what I'm gonna say right now about like Andrew not having a license. This was spontaneous. This was like on the spot. I was like, hold on, I can make fun of like Andrew not having a license by like adding a little something here, and then like he's just gonna use his powers to get a license.
I don't know how to drive. Wait, but with my new powers, I can magically know how to drive. Let's get there. I'm coming for you!
He goes like that. I don't know. I just love filming this scene was so fun. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have like rear mirror shots, and I'm gonna get out of the car and like film the cars going under and over and like between them, and just like just blare some fucking racing soundtrack or something like that, so it makes it look like the car is actually in motion.
Ah, fuck, he's right behind me. Oh, I see you, motherfucker. I'm about to run the fuck out of you.
I loved it. Like the way I make the cars hit each other, it's like, cause like I obviously can't hit I can't make the car hit each other. So like what I do is like I just simply like just like I film like I basically just like throw my camera at the car, so it looks like the car is like pushing up to the rear, and then like I would film the front of Andrew's car, and then I would film the back of my car, so it looks like he's approaching the car and it's coming to hit. Like it actually looks like I'm hitting the car. Like, ah, I just love the way this turned out.
That, man.
I just love the way it turned out, and the sound effect. It just felt good. And honestly, I love ragdolling myself. So like I just had fun fucking doing just like going like just being free, man.
Fuck. Man, he's gonna tear me up in here. Hold on, I'm gonna give you another one.
And I don't reuse any of those hit things. I always take different angles. It's fun.
You wanna play it rough?
It got really cold. Like putting on those mitts was like, all right, I gotta include a scene where like I put on gloves. Like this is like my hands are like freezing. I don't know if you noticed like a ladder in the background. I basically used that for the sunroof scene. I basically had the camera on the ladder, so like it's just above the car, so I could do the shot nicely.
Okay. We'll play rough.
Like and like me like hands not on the wheel, that was like on purpose. I was just like, you know what? Let me just like put on my gloves super like casually and just have like car music like blare in the background. It's like, dude, he's just like driving these insane speeds. He's like his hands are not even on the wheel. Yeah, some scenes I was able to move the car a little bit, like that small little scene of me going back, because you could hear the car in it, but like scenes where like I'm backing up or going forward, I could film that because I'm in my driveway. There's nothing wrong with it, and I love doing that. Where like I would go like this, like in front of the car, and then like that, so like it gives the illusion I made a turn. I moved to the right side of the driveway. And then essentially this, I left the camera inside Alex's car, and I got off on the passenger, went all around, went to that car and got in. So it looks like I'm looking at Andrew through my car.
Alright. Oh, shit. Alright. You wanna play rough?
And then of course I need to give Andrew a reason to put the gloves on too, because shit was cold, man.
Okay. I too could play rough. Shit. Yeah. Woo! I have an idea. Shit. That's right. Get real close to me. See how that turns out.
Yeah, I needed to include the B9G5 in this somehow. And it didn't really look like the way like this whole part like turns out didn't really came to my imagination too well, because I really tried to find a good way, a good like sound to use. Like I wanted it to be like, you know, the B92.5, but I couldn't record that perfectly. So what I had to do, I had to go on their YouTube channel, and their intro and outro was like a really bad version of it, but like it was the only clear, loud version of. It was like the best I could get for like really good quality, and I didn't want to use like a really bad quality of a really good version because it just didn't sound good. So yeah.
Cruise control.
I'd say cruise control. I mean, this is the meme I only get because I overuse cruise control so much. I love it.
Where the fuck is he doing?
Feel the beat,
So.
Yeah, so essentially, I'm just moving the image, you know, back and forth, and I try to like when the car goes horizontal, I try to make like meet myself in the car, positioned where I would be if the car was vertical. And then like just because I can, I just added the front end of the car torn off. And like this is what I'm saying, but like I try to act at like how the car is looking. So like right now the car comes to like a big stop. So and then like it's kind of angled down. So I would, you know, fall the way it would look like from the outside. Now the thing about Andrew's crash, I forgot to mention, when I was going side to side and shit, like I actually had to I had to do a big cut because I knocked down my dad's mirror, like the rear view mirror, like I kicked it by accident and it came off. But the thing about that is, it was already broken, and I didn't know. So like, when I knocked that off, I was like, oh fuck, I just broke his fucking mirror. And I was like, wait a second, no, like it was already broken prior. Like I remembered it being broken. So.
Whoa, there's the roundabout. We're practically right there. About to enter.
Yeah, so like when I was filming part 3, I was like I gotta have like some on location shots of the hill. I was like I gotta go big with this. So one day um I drove Andrew home from something. I think I forgot where we were. Oh man, it's like I'm blacking out right now. But like I drove him home from somewhere, and I was like, okay, I could do it right now. I have my camera, I have my stand with me. I could just like pop it up, put it on my dash, and then just loop the roundabout.
The roundabout.
Let me add some Interstellar music, you know, because like that song is usually like someone going around. So I thought it fit pretty well here. and like this is supposed to show that like I keep going around. It's like some solar interstellar type of thing of me keep going around the roundabout before it lets me in. And then I take their exit, right? I was gonna film like in the neighborhood, but I felt like it was just like I felt like it just prolonged too much. I felt like it was gonna drag on too long if I like went into their neighborhood and like started filming around and be like, oh my god, look, they're around. I thought I thought this was enough. Like I thought this was like short and sweet and enough.
Damn it. He got to the roundabout. He's gonna get there before I do. Well, now's a good time as ever. Come back, Steven.
Now, the return of Steven and Sam. Like when I was filming part 3, I was like, everybody has to be in this. Like they have to come back. They have to like have their, their moment because, I wanted everybody at the 29th who was going to be there. I wanted them to be in the movie too. It's just so, they have something to look at. And like I really wanted to include everybody in because, it's fun when everybody's included. So I was like, all right, well, if they're going to be included, I have to do something, right? I'll get to Sam when it's her time. But for Steven, I was like, Steven was a lot a lot of work, cause like I had like so much ideas for him. I was like, okay, well, Steven's gonna be the one that's gonna stop me from, well, partially stop me from getting to the roundabout, right? He's gonna hit my car and I'm gonna go flying. I'm like, okay, how am I gonna like translate that? Like, how am I actually gonna put that on the screen? So I'm thinking, originally what I wanted to do was buy like a train and then like make like a whole thing in the snow outside of like a train, a road, and like a toy car, and then like I would like just like push the train to hit the car, and then it would cut to me flying around shit. But I was like, oh man, that's not gonna look too good, and like you're not really seeing Steven, you're just seeing the train. Like sure, yeah, the train, like he relates to trains a lot, but like I want to show him. So I was like, okay, what I can do is like have a picture of a train and like where the conductor is. I would just like put myself in it. I would look like something like this, like choo choo and stuff like that. It would be Steven. And I was like, you know what? I was like, yeah, I guess that could work. And then I go on Steven's profile, Facebook page to get some pictures of his train. I wanted to put his actual train. Then I noticed something. I was like, like how could I forget this? He sits on his train. I'm like, oh my god, okay. This is what I'm doing. I'm gonna put his train. I'm just gonna be sitting on it. And it's funny because like where I sit as Steven is like where the coal is. It's not even like where you properly sit. It's just I had to put myself there because editing wise, it like it just looked better from where you're supposed to sit. So, yeah, I was like, damn, okay, he's gonna be sitting on the train, and so like that way I could include the train, I could include Steven, and I'm gonna play the only because of your TikTok like of Thomas the Train. That's why I included the Thomas the Train theme song, or else I would have put like just regular Steam train sounds. So yeah.
Take him out.
Now the thing about this scene, I'm gonna stop right here. This wasn't supposed to be an Easter egg, but because of everyone's laughter, it got covered by it. So I guess y'all turned it into an Easter egg. But Steven actually has a line here. He says, "Don't worry, Andrew, I'll get him." I mean, it's not much, but like, I don't think anyone heard that.
I'll get him, Andrew. Don't worry.
I agree. Wait.
This was fun to film. This was supposed to be longer, but it just didn't work because like my driveway is slanted, so I like this was hard, but like on flat surface this would have been much easier because I remember doing this even like fucking years ago when I would fool around in the parking lot and stuff like that. But because like my driveway was on a slant, it was hard to like keep myself up because I was on an angle. So basically this was filmed upright. The car's not flipped over, of course. So like essentially I'm just like this, right? I'm like that, giving the illusion that like I'm flipped over in the car. So like because like ideally in the editing room I'm just gonna flip the image so it looks like I'm actually upside down. So yeah, this was like hard because this was only hard because I was on angle. Ideally, what I was supposed to do was like unhook and then like push myself more to the ceiling as if like like in movies where like people are upside down in the car and they're being holstered by the seatbelt and when they take it off they fall more. That's what I was going to do, but it just didn't work. And I was supposed to crawl out of the car, and I actually had a good rhythm to that. And like I had this filmed where like I would like I would put my feet on the other window to like holster myself up, so it looks like I'm crawling out of the car, and like I I can't crawl out of the car. I got nothing to grab onto on the outside, so it was just supposed to cut of me trying to get out of the car, but it just didn't work. Like it just didn't like work production wise. It just didn't work. So that's why I cut it short, and then I still left it in where it still gives the illusion that I am upside down.
Shit.
And me, I don't give a fuck, man. I don't go on the floor, man. I do it for the movie, man. I love that shit. Honestly, that's why the art of movies is done. People don't do this anymore.
I made it.
Like, this is where like my imagination like just went like sort of downhill because like I didn't have a clever way to take out Steven. I was like, how the fuck am I gonna stop the train with what I have? So I'm like, you know what? Let me do like some like cheap ass rodeo shit or like bull trick or like I'll be like, hey, go for the blanket, and then like, whoa.
Alright, Steven. Let's see what you got, huh? Let's see what you got. Let's go. Go.
I mean, this is also a Death Race 2000 reference, but like where like this guy this car was shaped as a bull, so like some guy like some pedestrian was dressed up as like a matador and like fucking doing that shit with the car. So I guess like that's where I got the idea from, but like it was just like a really cheap way to get rid of Steven.
Right here. I'm right here. Come on, go for it. Go for it. Whoa.
That was cool. I don't know. Like I learned that recently how to do the explosion. It's basically like an explosion on a green screen. You put that in your film and you just remove the green so it looks like an explosion. So yeah. And I was like, that was like a really cheapy way to get rid of Steven. I was like, I'm gonna, like because like of how quick his scene was, I'm just gonna like give him a death scene too.
Alright, I'm in the house. I'm activating the beacon now.
Thank God that car has extra.
And now I change again because I don't know, that SpongeBob shirt was just getting so uncomfortable. So like I changed into another blue shirt. As you can tell, I like blue. So now I add this scene with Andrew and Steven. Mainly this scene was supposed to fuel Andrew's rage to give more of a motivation for him to like kill us and stuff like that. So yeah.
Shirts. No! Steven!
Do not worry,
Steven,
brother.
no.
For my last words.
Tell me.
That's just, I don't know.
No! They're all gonna fucking pay.
All right, so these shoes on the ground are my mark points. I was like, okay, every character has to be in these shoes. Like, has to be behind the shoe because that's how much space I'm giving them. And as you can see, like, yeah, I don't know, it's just a reference point. And that door is fucking. I fucked up completely with that door.
Oh, what? Think you could get through us? Give up now.
All right, so this was supposed to be the nuclear reactor. That's basically what Adamo puts inside that whole contraption at the end. That's basically the nuke. Now I cut that whole part out of him putting the nuke inside. That was so fucking long for no reason. That was like an extra 5 minutes. It made no sense why I filmed that. That was like 5 minutes of him going like this. I'm not even joking. Like him slowly. I don't know. I seriously don't know. And so I just cut that whole part out. But he's holding it. Whatever.
And we'll let you live. You're gonna pay for what you did to Steven. I don't care if you're 10 of you. I'll take you all on. Okay? Yeah, we got this. Don't worry. Alright.
Yes. Leave it to
Yeah, that was just bad editing. I like honestly, I probably could have done it. I could have done a better job, but it was just bad. That's all. That's all I have to say to that.
us.
I could deal with Angelo and Damiano, but Baltasari's gonna be a problem. Time to take him out of the fight. Anthony! Sam.
Now Sam. Sam was probably the hardest thing to do in like part 1, part 2, part 3 because I actually had to learn to dance per se. And like
Deal with him.
so like I was like, okay, what dance? Cuz like if I was bringing Sam back, it had to be something of dancing. I was like, it's not going to be some elaborate fight scene. Sam likes to dance. I'm going to do a dancing scene for her. So um essentially what I did was like, okay, so what dance do we usually joke about or like so I was like, oh, the Fortnite dance, the default one. So I was like, okay, well, let me try to learn how to do this dance. So like I looked up this video of some Asian guy teaching you how to like dance. So like every night I would like take like 10 minutes of my 10 minutes of my time and like try to learn this dance perfectly. And I did that for a month and holy shit, I'm still bad at it. Like I like this was like 30 to 50 takes of me trying to get that dance perfectly because I could do the dance. The only problem is I can't do that dance quickly where like it would fit in the music. So I had to like like fucking like do like when it gets there I'll pause it again. But like yeah, you know, like I wanted to get this dance done properly so it would look good on film and like it would respect the character too. And then yeah, the whole setup here, this is like my Dr. Disrespect cosplay, sorta. It's just like a red long sleeve with like my black jogging pants. It's what I use to dress up as Dr. Disrespect. And it's a little bit weird because like I sort of give Sam like a really manly voice, but then like when she's finished the dance, she has like a very feminine voice right after. It's because like I couldn't figure out a voice to use. I was like, do I go with feminine? Do I go with really masculine? I don't really know. What's funny? What's not funny? Let me do half half.
Time to annihilate you.
Like hell you are.
What do you think you're doing? We're gonna settle this by dancing. Whoever wins
Okay,
survives.
I'll follow your lead.
And like for Sam's character too, I was like, you know, like I'm not just gonna have her like sit there. I'm like I'm gonna have a lot of movement because you know dancing, right? So I just move side to side, and this is essentially just like a MMA thing. So whatever. The thing now here's the thing about this song, right? I added in a little bit more of the song. I like essentially repeated some things of the song because I was too slow. The song was too fast for my dance. So I added in another beep, 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 beep. So like no one noticed that because we were laughing. But like if you watch this again, um like you notice it like immensely. I mean, I paused it when it happened, but yeah. I got the right form. I just don't got the speed for it. And like I was pretty disappointed I couldn't learn that song in like a month. But it still worked out. Everyone had a good time. Everyone laughed. So,
Your turn.
and that's where the feminine part comes out.
Just watch.
That idea for Anthony with the glasses, I was like, "Ooh, that's good." Because like I recently found that picture of him like in the like the purple type of suit standing on the grass, and I was like, "Oh, he has glasses on. This is interesting." I'm like, you know what? I could probably do something where like I have glasses and like I'll put it on my face and like as I'm putting it on, the picture would change and same with glasses on. I was like, that's pretty good. So now Sam's just laughing at how bad Anthony is. And honestly, like it's actually hard. Like it's actually hard to do something you know how to do, but badly. So like I had to dance poorly here, but like it was hard to dance poorly when you know how to do the song.
Yeah. Okay.
And like man, the whole finger gun, like that was like something like I was like, okay, well I gotta get rid of Sam. I gotta get rid of Sam too, but you know Anthony doesn't know how to dance, right? So he can't beat Sam in a dancing competition. So he would have to do something like sketch or like cheap to win. So I was like, oh, you know, like the ending of the gun, it's like basically a gun, and then Anthony's version of the song will be the military one. So like, you know, military, the gun, blah blah blah. And then that was a good fall. I actually liked that fall a lot. Like I'm like fuck it, just fall, man. You know?
Never expect a finger gun.
Never expect a finger gun.
Ah, Damien, we don't need him. We can take him.
Hurry.
Just us two.
I like that a lot. Honestly, when I filmed this whole interaction, I was like, damn, like let me try to like, cause like I had the couch as reference of like where I was gonna cut the video. So I'm like, let me put my hand as close to the cut as possible, so when Damiano comes for the kick, it actually looks like it connects, and I think it did pretty well, and with the face too.
I ain't holding back.
I essentially just stood still. I had my arm like that with my sock, and I just like flipped the sock to hit me.
Angela.
Команда X.
Andrew's nipples. Whoa.
Циклоп. Росомаха.
That took 2 takes. My first take, I like hurt myself doing that.
Keep going, keep going. I need more power.
Sicker than your average. Papa twist cabbage on instinct. Niggas don't think shit stink. Pink gators. My Detroit players. Tim's for my hooligans in Brooklyn. That's right.
No reason for that. Oof, oof, oof. I don't know. I just added that in. I thought it would be funny.
Hit the head right. Biggie there.
Honestly, that whole like and like this part 3 was like something cool because I was like, ooh, it would be cool if like I knew how to put decapitations, stuff like that. So that's what I did. I was like, ooh, Demano's head's gonna get cut off because Angela's gonna accidentally hit him with his lasers. I was like, ooh, that's pretty good. And I know how to edit it like that, so I was like, this could be like a very fun editing experience for me.
No.
That's the end of Angelo. I had that. I'm sorry. Like that was literally just to get Damiano. I was like, you know, Damiano's probably gonna like fucking like he's probably gonna say that line again of like my whole character is a fart, but he didn't say that at the premiere. But it's funny.
Whoa, hold it right there.
And like this was like during the time too where Anthony kept getting jaywalking tickets. So I'm like, you know what? I could probably add in a scene where Anthony gets a fucking jaywalking ticket in the roundabout. And I'm like, you know what? I could also throw in another character, Captain Foley, you know, from like my role playing days.
There. Do you see a crosswalk here? Sir, you're jaywalking right now. Why don't you have a seat over there, okay?
This was supposed to be like a Chris Hansen type of thing, but like it just didn't work out. Like I was like, you know what? Like I was gonna say like I got the like it was gonna turn into like a Chris Hansen thing, but I didn't really want something like that in the film. So I was like, you know what? Let me just keep the chair part and that's it.
Mr. Baldessari, is it?
This is my first time.
Oh, it's your first time, is it? Says here you got 2 previous ones. Well, it looks like this is gonna be your 3rd one. You up the hill, people. You think you could just walk wherever you please, huh? Not at the roundabout, buddy. We'll catch you. No crosswalk. I can go wherever I go.
Yeah, this was like a jokey thing where like I was like, oh, I'm gonna like impersonate like him, but you know it's me, so like it would sound like it sounds pretty like it's a pretty good impersonation. I don't know, but I don't know.
You guys make me sick. Because it's your third offense, it's gonna be a $250 jaywalking ticket, okay? And I expect you to pay it. You've been served by Captain Foley.
This is a pretty sweet editing trick right here. Because like I can't physically take that paper from him. So what I did is I filmed the cop scene first. I essentially just taped when I was done the scene, I would just tape the piece of paper to the wall, remove that video, and just keep Anthony's video. So that video, like it's like this video right now is covering that piece of paper that's on the wall right now. So when I leave the scene, right, and I take away that video, that piece of paper is still there and it's visible. So all I have to do is stand up and pick it up. So it gives the illusion that like it gives more of illusion that like there's two people actually there. I had fun doing that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, on that piece of paper is actually the list of like my predictions for the Secret Santa. That was on purpose. The whole face going over the wall. I thought people would laugh at that, so that's why I left that in there.
Unbelievable. I get a fucking jaywalking ticket for just walking in the kitchen. What the fuck did you guys know about this? God damn it, now I gotta pay $250 for fucking walking. Imagine that.
What are you going on about, man? It's $250. Your bird shit out diamonds in your back.
Yeah, when I say bird shit out diamonds in his backyard, that's because his dad has like a bird collection in his backyard, or like he has a lot of pet birds.
Yard, man. What are you complaining for?
Fuck that. It's not about the money. It's about the principle. And this is fucking bullshit, and I ain't paying a fucking cent for it. Oh, Damiano and Angelo are dead. Andrew's on his way. He may be even more madder now that I killed his sister. So, you know, you killed his brother, I killed his sister. He's like double mad now. So let's just try to speed up the process. He's here.
That was for Sam. And now for you motherfuckers to pay. Ha! The nuke is already on. The press of this button, and we're all gone. You're too late, Andrew. You think your nuke scares me? Do you guys even know how to defeat me? It takes another Andrew to even match me. You guys are done. Say goodnight. You know, it's funny you actually say that. Because the nuke is actually not for you. No. The nuke is for the roundabouts. Now, for you, we have our secret weapon. So you're gonna get to meet your match. Against Andrew Adrianakis, the Greek god.
Okay, so originally Andrew wasn't even supposed to be in this film. I added him in because of like I said before, I wanted everyone who was attending that event to be in the film. So like this was filmed like 2 days before the premiere. I was like, how am I supposed to include Andrew in this film? Like I already have the ending done. Like I already had the ending done by this point. But like I had to like go back and like reshoot, you know, Andrew. So because originally the way Andrew was supposed to die, Andrew DiCarlo, the way he was supposed to die is just like trying to shoot me, and then I would shine, and then it would hit him with his own bullet, and he would be incapped. But and then like you know he would die by the nuke. And I was like, hold on, I gotta add Andrew, the Adrianakis, to the mix. I'm like, you know what? Let me make him the like a secret weapon. You know, let me make him fight Andrew. Maybe he like that will be like a match, you know, because both their names are Andrew. So I'm like, oh, this is good. So let me go back and let me take all that out. I'll keep the shine for later, and you know, it could be like a very fun scene. And it turned out to be a fun scene. And like the fedora, that's because he wore one at Talkathon, so that's why. So that's why he has that hat. The turtleneck, I don't know. That was just I had it, so I wore it.
Oh, shit. I have been summoned here to destroy you, Andrew DiCarlo.
Yeah, I don't really know how Andrew Adrianakis talks, So like he doesn't really have a catchphrase or like words. He usually he doesn't say like a lot of like memorable words. Like not like this like I don't know how to say it, but like he doesn't say stuff. You know, it sounds like stuff I could say and like it was like oh he says that a lot. You know, like he doesn't except for like dude and like I add that in the end. So like he's kind of sounds like a robot ish or like that's why he sounds weird.
We must fight. You're not as optimal as me.
Andrew says optimal a lot. That's why I added it.
I thought you'd come prepared.
Adventure Quest. That was an Adventure Quest sound effect I added there. Now this scene is fun because I essentially just like jump and then like I would start the video where like I'm in the air and then like fall back. But this is reversed by the way. Like I'm actually jumping forward and then I just reverse the video so it looks like I'm getting pushed back onto the wall. Yeah, that's... Actually, wait, hold on. Sorry. This.
You're not as optimal as me. I thought you'd come prepared.
This is reversed. I jumped forward because like jumping backwards didn't work. It didn't work like from like a video standpoint. It just didn't work. So what I did was I just jumped backwards and then I stopped when I was at my highest in the air. So I stopped like that and then like in this scene I jump forward and then I just basically start the video where I'm the highest in the air. Well, jump forward. I jump backwards. I basically run backwards. Like I basically ran backwards like from in the room and like I jumped and then like I started the video where I was the highest. So it looks like I'm falling backwards. And of course I needed a way to keep Andrew on the floor, so that shield Adamo took earlier in the film comes into play here. I had a lot of fun filming this scene because there's a lot going on. This is the scene where Andrew's body gets cut in half. And essentially how I did this is I'm basically standing like this. I try to keep my legs as still as possible because those legs aren't going to go anywhere. So essentially what happens here is shield comes in, cuts me. Boom, right here, I cut the scene in half. Now what I'm doing here is I'm leaving a video halfway. The bottom half of this video is frozen. It's going to be, because it's basically my feet. Now the top half of this video is going to be me moving. You can see the line sort of. So like I'm cut in half. And then what happens here is I wanted to drop blood. Like I wanted to like recreate blood, so I took like a red coat and I dropped it. Like you'll see that like there's also another video cut here. Like there's another video that's going to be playing here that's covered like there's a video like that's here. That like in this bottom right. So basically bottom left and the top is covering that video. So the only exposure is the bottom right one, where you'll just see a jacket falling, and it's just me on a chair, just dropping the jacket so it looks like blood coming out. Very fun to do.
You're a disgrace to our name. Well, thank you for bringing my shield.
And I needed to wait for Andrew Adrianakis to die, so I was like, oh well, he gives him his shield, and you know, since it's Andrew's shield, he could like manipulate it, so he kills him with that.
Uh-oh.
And essentially, right, this is, you can even see the line of the second video of me. So basically this video is overlapping another video, except for the top part where like the blood comes out. And it was a pretty bad throw. Like I did a lot of takes of this. I just couldn't get the position right. But like going quickly, you can't really tell. But like now you can, right? But like yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Whoa, shit! That was not supposed to happen!
This is just supposed to look like blood, essentially. Like he's starting to lose like blood's like coming out and it's coming on the floor. The jacket's supposed to look like blood. That's basically it.
I don't think I have enough power to kill them all. Ugh. I'm losing too much blood.
Dude, forget about that shit, dude. Look, he's incapped. He can't fuck with us anymore. Come on, let's detonate this shit. Come on, man. Let's win this. It's not that simple, man. Someone needs to sacrifice themselves in order for it to detonate. I should have told you guys this before, but someone needs to strap that on and detonate it themselves. Someone's got to do it.
I'll do it. I'll sacrifice myself for you to live.
What are you talking about? No.
Listen.
Yeah, this was like very tiring to do because like I had to like position my arm like this, but like it looked weird sometimes because like it looked too down, so like I had to like aim it like this and like place the camera properly where like it looks like Anthony's arm on mine, and like I also had to cover this part too, and as you can tell like it was hard to do, like you could kind of tell, but like this kind of looks like my arm is just down, but like well maybe because like I know it's my arm, it doesn't look like it's down, but like I don't know, like this was hard to do, and like I had to have it on the right side too, so like some of these scenes are flipped.
Oh, don't do this.
You were always a good friend to me. I need to do
So yeah, so that looks like my hands like that, but I essentially just have my phone filming it like that, so it looks like my hands there, but
this for all the bad that I gave to this world. It's time for me to give back to the world I've taken. You gotta let me go. This is the only.
yeah, so like that melee, that whole smash scene was supposed to build up for this scene of like this whole emotional scene. Like I don't know, like I don't think this scene worked as I intended to. Like I thought I was gonna get more like emotional out of this, but like I don't know. I tried something.
Only way. The hill, no one would have control over the hill once the bomb goes off. You need to be there to claim it, or else no one will.
Yeah, this is very important to me saying this, because like for the end credits scene, like Anthony's basically saying, when the bombs go off, basically everyone's gonna die. So because Alex was supposed to be in the negative zone, where he's safe from the explosion, they were gonna come back to claim the hill. Now because everyone's gonna die per se, only like so basically let's just say someone did survive and they would claim like that person would claim the hill because they're the only person alive, right? So yeah.
Once these bombs go off, you be the only survivor. Claim the hill. Restore peace to this world. I have to go.
Alright, so just before I filmed this, I had like a water bottle, I just dumped it on my head. That's why my shirt's wet, shit like that.
Can't do that to me, man. You can't.
Tripping
You
off.
can't. Let's do this.
You're a goddamn hero in my book.
Let's chatty.
And you could even see the watermarks on the shirt because you know I use the same shirt for Anthony and Alex, so yeah. So you can see the wetness.
More save the worldy.
You're gonna want to wear that around your waist. And once you're done with that, this is the detonator. All you gotta do is pull it once and kaboom. Now this trigger won't trigger
I moved my head too many times, that's why like Anthony's head goes up and down and stuff like that.
anyone but the nuke. So use it when you're ready. Once we teleport out, blow it to hell. You good? Alright, let's go.
Oh!
And I completely forgot to put Anthony's face. Like I even remember like doing this scene. I just never clicked to me though. Like, oh my god, I forgot to put his face. And well, my expressions weren't even that bad, so I'm not even that bothered.
I'll go. Alright, I'm gonna go set up. Yeah, what's up?
Just to let you know, I'm gonna count down from 10 seconds before I detonate the nuke.
10 seconds, you got it.
10.
You're not.
And like in the background, because like everyone's like laughing and stuff like that, you probably didn't hear Anthony actually doing the countdown. You could hear him talk in the background saying like 10, 9, 8, 7, stuff like that. Now this scene here where like I shine, I also say something, but because everybody was laughing, no one really heard it. But I essentially say frame one, bitch.
Going anywhere. Frame one, bitch.
Classic. The classic moaning sound. The whole reason for the like the partridge in a pantry, like the reason why the reason why I included this, like originally it was just supposed to be like a simple 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But like as I was counting down, I was like, when I got to 5, it just came to my head. I was like, oh, I gotta do it. Like I gotta say 5 golden rings. I think that would be pretty good. So like I'm just making this up on the spot. I'm like, what? Sorry, what other numbers can I do, right? So I was like, oh, okay, for 2, I could say, the parking ticket, 250 parking ticket I'm not gonna be paying. And then 1 would be, in a pear tree.
Massimo, come in. Over. Where the hell are you? Massimo, we're ready to leave. What's wrong? He's not answering.
$250 jaywalking ticket I'm not gonna be paying.
Yo, we only have 10 seconds before he blows it. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, this was a joke because like when Angelo's brother was watching Game of Thrones, we would always hear it from his mic. So like that's why he's watching Game of Thrones, and that's why he's like that's the whole point of this scene. It was a callback to that time where his brother was watching Game of Thrones.
Massimo. Anthony! Massimo!
In a pantry.
Yeah, so like one of those scenes was taken from Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and this scene's taken from like how the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs, basically how it looked like it was like a simulation thing. And I added that just to show like how big the explosion was. If you can see here, you can see the pure bottle going around, stuff like that. I basically just jumped off my stairs to land on there. That was fun to do. Like it wasn't that cold and it didn't hurt. This was literally on the 28th. I text or 27th or 28th. I text Anthony. I'm like, hey man, can I like film your house for like the Hill Part 3? And like I had to tell him about it. I could like, cause like I didn't want to go to his house secretly, cause like I was so obvious, man. I was like in front of his house, like if he saw me or his parents saw me, I would have to explain it then and there. But like I had to let him know. I was like, dude, can I just? And plus like I'm filming his house too, which is like privacy type of thing. So I was like, you know what? Let me ask. And he said yeah. And so I was able to go to his house and film it. I couldn't film my house because it didn't make sense, right? Steve fell up the hill in front of Anthony's house. It had to be like it had to be footage of his house.
Ouais, j'ai chanceuse.
And that's the end of The Hill Part 3. That's the end of the whole trilogy. I didn't want to make a sequel bait. I mean, there's room for prequels, but I don't have anything working for that right now. I really wanted to end it with like, everybody dying and like just, but like also giving a little something something at the end. Steve finally gets Sean Shitters. He gets the hill. Steve gets the hill. He finally gets his luck. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a fun way to end the film, to end the whole trilogy. It's definitely I'm not done filming and stuff like that. Like I'm definitely gonna try to do other projects. I know like I want to try to do like a melee type of video of like, Tony and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty fun. But yeah, that's the end of the commentary. Like I said, like honestly, part one, part two, part three, honestly can't be done without you, like everyone here. Like all of you, like you are the reason why these films are made, and I'm so grateful for everyone. Honestly, like because of like the memes we create every single day, it's like I'm so glad like I was able to do something with them. Like compilations, right? Compilations is fun to do, right? But like making a film is like even funner. It's like, like, and like I would think it's fun for you guys to, also see yourselves, like being acted by someone in like a stupid film and stuff like that. And like I don't know, it's just fun. It's also fun too, just to watch. It's something to watch. Like I'm sort of happy this turned out to be like 36 minutes because like it's like oh yeah, it's like your favorite YouTuber, right? He makes a new video or they make a new video and it's like a really long one, so you're like, "Oh man, this is going to be good. I get to sit back and watch like this long video of like a YouTuber I like." So it's like, 36 minutes of like The Hill. Oh my God, this is like such a jump from like, 12 minutes, which was part two, like 36 minutes. Ooh, we're in for a really good one. And like, man, I'm just happy. I'm just happy to make you guys happy. Like, I'm just glad about all the feedback I get from this, and like, it just encourages me to make more. And I'm glad I haven't messed up yet because I don't want to make one and then you guys like are disappointed in it. I don't want to disappoint you like everyone. I want like everyone to have a good time with these videos. So yeah, that's the end of the commentary, and I'll see you in the next one if there ever is, and I'm pretty sure there will be.